Welcome once again to another installment of Shoot Conversations with Chris Hero. I am fortunate to bring to you a wonderful guest today. Whether you want to call him Johnny Curtis, you want to call him Fandango or Fandango, Dirty Curdy, Dirty Dango, the Portuguese Sun Dragon, Johnny Armadillo.
Johnny Armadillo. Holy shit.
Here he is.
Someone's done his research.
Hey, thank you so much for being here, dude.
Thanks for having me,
I'm
man.
very excited to get into this.
We just ran into each other a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and
I haven't seen you, in a couple of years?
yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah.
And I think what's cool is we've been around each other, but it's like we will see each other a couple times and then we'll talk about a bunch of random stuff and then we don't see each other for another year or two. And then just because
wrestling life,
I
right?
came into FCW when you were on your way out finally. And then, well,
no, you're right.
I mean, they left you in limbo forever.
Yeah.
But you lived in Tampa, so we would kind of see each other out on the weekends and stuff. And
man, I was Mr. Del Mabry back in the day.
Yeah, Dale Mabry. you know what's funny about Dale Mabry? When Pee Wee Herman got arrested for indecent exposure, you remember that, right?
Yeah, of course.
When he was arrested, he told them his name was Dale Mabry.
Did he really?
Yes. I have not corroborated this. I heard this once and have kept it in my brain. But
shit, I remember doing a show for Kern at the old FCW arena, and I
he
look
showed
over
up,
and fucking Pee Wee Herman standing there.
Yeah.
Like, is that Pee Wee Herman talking to Nick Nemeth?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit, cool.
Yeah, good stuff.
I guess he's a big wrestling fan, right?
Yeah, big supporter,
Yeah. Nice guy.
Yeah.
He's cool.
Yeah, how funny.
Dale Mabry.
Dale Mabry. Yeah, good stuff. Man, so I'm gonna hit you with some good stuff here. But we gotta start at the top, man. July 22nd, 1984, baby boy was brought into this world.
83, bro. Yeah. Fuck, cut.
83. So that was it, Wikipedia?
Dude, they said I was... My girl met me, and
Yeah.
she looked me up on Wikipedia and said I was like 45 or some shit. So I guess anyone with a Wikipedia account can go in and be like,
edit,
Fandango likes cats or whatever. So.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
83.
So
Actually, I should have said 84.
Basically, what I was saying is on July 22nd, 1984, you were celebrating your first birthday.
Yeah, we were partying hard, man.
You hadn't gotten into the business yet, but you weren't far
I
behind.
was born into the business.
Yeah. Man, so tell me a little bit about growing up. What kind of family did you have?
My folks got divorced in 83, the year I was born.
Damn.
Which a lot of kids, I guess our age, their parents, I think was a high divorce rate. Lived with my grandparents for a while growing up. Eventually moved to a trailer park in Standish, Maine, which was a little town about 30 minutes west of Portland, which you probably heard of Portland. Big baseball family. Dad played baseball. Grandfather played baseball. Moved into a trailer park, kind of a rough neighborhood.
Yeah.
My dad drove truck, single dad. And there's probably 25 young boys my age that lived in this probably 200 unit trailer complex. So a lot of kids my age. My cousins lived there. They were diehard wrestling fans. So probably at the age of 10 to 15 is when I really discovered professional wrestling.
Any siblings or only child?
Older sister, half brother that I haven't seen since I was 4. My mom just passed away last year. She dealt with addiction for most of her life. I got to rekindle that relationship about a year ago. Got to say goodbye to her. That's nice. Which was nice. And I've been sober. I'll be sober 3 years in January.
Well,
so
damn.
Yeah. So that's why I said Mr. Del Mabry. So you met me back in FCW.
Yeah.
If anybody watching this, anybody in the Tampa area from circa 06 to
bumped into you at the lodge.
I apologize because shit. I'd run into like some random dude. I'm getting off track here, but that's what I do. I'd ran into some like kid at a gym in Ohio on the road. Be like, man, I was in developmental with you, man. You remember that time we all went out and you bought us all shots? And I'm like, nope. And I don't even remember you, but good to see you, bro.
Yeah.
So
hey, at least you bought him shots.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That was my thing. so I was, I was like Andy Dufresne. I know you want to get the story of my life here, but I'm going to go off course. But I was like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption, where I was in developmental so long, Kern kind of just gave me the keys to the. I was like, I had the warden in my back pocket. And I was there for like 7 years, and they're like, I think at one point he's like, I don't know if they're ever gonna call you up. Do you want to coach or start producing? So I started like helping put together matches on live events. But that was my thing. Young kids would come into the territory or the developmental system, I guess, and back then it's like. He can work a little bit, but what kind of guy is he?
Yeah.
Take him out. That's how we kind of figured out what type of person they were. And, was he cool? Not like we take him out and haze him and make him drink, but just hanging out with the boys. Would he do karaoke? And
you perform better too when you're more relaxed and more comfortable. You can get people out of their shells.
And it's just, we'll come back to that. But I grew up, little town, Standish. And when we moved in the trailer park in the early '90s, that's when we really I started getting into wrestling. And there was a lot.
Is there a moment of first time you saw wrestling, or first time you started to enjoy it?
We always watched. It was always on growing up. Obviously with Hogan and guys our age with wrestling being so big. But I remember like the early '90s watching WCW, and I don't know why I remember Steamboat and. Was it Shane Douglas wearing the hoods tagging?
Yeah.
I don't know why the fuck I remember that.
Red and green.
Yeah. And I remember that like it was yesterday. I don't know. I don't know
against the Hollywood Blondes.
The Blondes, and they did like a cage match or something. I don't know why. That must have been like 92, 93, 94, somewhere around there. But I remember that. And then I wasn't a diehard until probably 96, 97. That's when I started really getting into it because. In the neighborhood I grew up with, there wasn't that much to, either you kind of get in trouble, there's a lot of drugs. I kind of fell into wrestling and it kind of like kept me away from all that, in a weird way where some of the kids that were a little bit older than me were kind of falling into that scene, the drugs, smoking pot, drinking. I never did any of that. And, I started finding these local independent shows and it just became a big wrestling fan. And I kind of credit that wrestling kind of kept me away from that, Yeah. And, but obviously 98 came around and that's when wrestling blew up. And
Were you class of 02? Is that what it was?
02.
I was class of 98.
Yeah,
so I was coming up just a little bit earlier.
But the thing was, I never finished school. I left when I was 16, 17, and I moved to Boston to start putting up rings. And I just knew that I wanted to be in the business, and I just thought, and this is don't take this as advice by any means, but I just thought school was a waste of my time because I saw a lot of these people that knew calculus and trigonometry and ancient history and. They were doing jobs. These teachers were doing jobs that they hated, and like, why would I want to finish school if I already know that I want to be on the road wrestling? I don't know. But I left school when I was 16 and started running the roads.
Did you catch any wrestling shows when you were a kid growing up? Did you go to anything live?
Yeah. The local WWE ran WWF ran Portland a lot. They used to run TV there. I remember ECW shows. I remember the Hammerstein, which was really cool in like I think 2000 or 2001.
Yeah.
Right around the time I broke into the business.
Yeah.
Or actually started wrestling.
Yeah.
But didn't have a lot of money when I was a kid to do that.
Yeah.
So but I definitely remember the Hammerstein me and a buddy of mine going down to fucking New York from Maine.
That's cool.
When I think they were doing the tag tournament down there in 2000. And
so maybe the FBI and Whipwreck
and Tajiri. I remember getting up in the bleachers and just being like, wow, this is the Hammerstein Ballroom.
Yeah.
And we look over and there's like this dude over in the corner smoking crack. And we're like these two kids, 16, 17, from fucking the little town of Maine. I'm like, what the fuck? ECW.
ECW.
I'm like, there's these guys like, it might have been pot, but I don't know. It looked like a crack pipe because it was clear. And they're like, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
ECW.
Yeah.
ECW.
Little sidebar here from my career. there's a guy that started. I was working for IWA Mid-South
Yeah, of
twice a
course.
week,
Yeah.
and the locker room was a little Wild West-ish, whereas it's
Yeah.
just nothing too bad, but it's for a 19 or 20-year-old, you're like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah.
People are fighting or whatever. A buddy of mine came in and worked for IWA, and it was his first weekend, and he was just a sweetheart of a guy, but just a little more sheltered.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him on Instant Messenger the week after, and I was like, "Hey man, how was your experience? What'd you think? Whatever." And he's like, "Oh, I had an awesome time. The crowd was great, but I'm not gonna lie, there's one thing that did catch me a little off guard." And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Some guys were doing drugs, right?" And I was like, so IWA wasn't very crazy with drugs. I was like,
It wasn't
you know,
ECW.
no, there were no, yeah. So
Not
I'm
that
like,
I know
I'm like,
of, but-
maybe some guys smoke a little pot or something, or maybe there's guys with some pills or whatever, just kind of lower on the end of drugs.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Can you smoke weed out of a pipe?" And I said, "Yes, you can." He goes, "Oh, thank God! I thought they were all smoking crack."
Maybe. So those guys up in the Hammerstein, I
Might have been smoking
I've been telling
weed.
people it was a white pipe, so I just
Yeah.
assumed. But
Yeah.
I guess it's better than shooting nude
Yeah.
bane in your dick. So
Which that would have been saved for.
just fucking up with the just like. Dude, when I first started wrestling, GHB was legal. I
Yeah,
remember
yeah.
the boys had that. They could buy it at GNC and shit. That's how long we've been around. I remember they used to buy G, and that was like their thing. They'd finish their match and then have a little sip.
Yeah.
And it wasn't illegal. It was like
Yeah.
an over-the-counter gimmick. And then the guys, of course, wrestlers would figure out that
Yeah.
if you take it and don't go
Yeah.
to sleep, you get fucked up off it. So
There was also the urban legend that like if you had like a meal with like 3,000 or 4,000 calories, or
Yeah,
something,
they were all-
just take GHB after, and
Yeah.
it won't.
the boys
it won't go
somehow
to fat. Like
the,
what?
the
What?
boys are like fucking chemists.
Yeah.
They become really good at math. So like you could figure out, all right, so we did a little blow in Mexico and the drug tests on Monday. So like if it's pure cocaine, we have this many hours, but we're on Central Time Zone, but we're flying to Newark, so add an hour for they become really good at math and chemistry.
Yeah.
Like what the dude,
Oh shit. Okay, so baseball family. So you must have
Yeah.
played a little baseball.
Yeah,
growing
I
up.
played Legion ball till I left to go on the road till I was about 17.
Any other sports you enjoyed?
Track, dude, I was setting up rings when I was 15, 16.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
telling brother on the way over here that I would get $50 to set up a ring down in Boston area, and then 50 to ref. So
Yeah.
back then, some states you needed the commission needed a referee license.
Yeah.
So you need a ref, a manager,
Yeah.
or a wrestler's license.
Yeah.
Which they considered like old Dickie White, the old commissioner up in Maine. It was still wrestling and boxing, so they still treated it as like a legitimate. Not saying professional wrestling isn't, but obviously it's entertainment.
Yeah.
You fucking know.
Yeah.
But they treated it as this is a sport. So they'd ask you like, you're the referee, and they treated you as like a professional referee. So I would ref for 50, set the ring up for 50 a night, so $100 a night.
Gosh.
And I'd do that.
Making more than guys on the
No,
card.
so we do we'd work for Joe Eugenio or Steve Ricard up in you do fucking Fall River on a Friday, New Bedford on a Saturday, then you do Bob's Bar and Grill on a Sunday. You do that a couple times a month, so you're making $1,200 a month, $600, whatever it was, So as a 15-year-old, that's enough to I was
So what was your intro to the independent wrestling scene that got you on this path?
So we're diehard fans going to a local. Do you remember MTV True Life?
Of course.
Of course.
Rapid Delivery, Roy Fox, man.
So that company, James St. Jean, they were following Tony around the Eastern Wrestling Alliance.
My cellophone.
My cellophone, Joey Gamache.
Pause 1 second. Maybe my 5th show ever. I hit Amanda Storm with a chair.
So Amanda Storm.
Yes,
Before
from that show.
Before I could drive legally in the state of Maine, Amanda would pick me up, and I asked some of the guys a couple weeks ago that I was on a show with up there, like, "Where's Amanda?" They haven't heard from her in years.
Yeah.
But
Black
Amanda,
Widow.
sweet girl, nice
Yeah.
girl, but I'm a young kid. I haven't been exposed to a lot in life. She'd pick me up for a shot down in fucking New Bedford or Taunton, because I couldn't drive. So the
Yeah.
promoters would have to figure out a way for me to get to these shows.
Yeah.
So be like, all right, you got to drive. Can you pick up the kid? And they'd be like, all right, yeah. Just pay the gas. And she'd pick me up, and then, but really early. And then she'd drop me off at like a fucking Denny's. And then she wrestled gentlemen.
Yeah. Dominatrixy.
Yeah. No sex. She was not an escort. From what I know, I'm not putting that out there, but she would go wrestle guys. Like she'd like to wrestle them in the apartment and get paid. So I would sit as a 16-year-old. Think about a 16-year-old kid from a small town in Maine just sitting at a fucking Denny's.
Getting some moons over my hammy.
With your backpack.
Yeah.
With your fucking shitty high... Hit shitty high spots boots. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Hey, my first pair of high spots boots ripped the fuck out.
Mine did
like
too.
5
So
matches.
fuck it. All right, they were from Mexico.
Michael thankfully has made good.
My gear was from Hot Topic, but my boot. Fuck it. Whatever. I got paid. Thanks, bro. Get me on WrestleCon, dude. I edit that out.
No, man. No edits.
But my boots blew out. They were shitty. Anyways.
Yeah.
But to think about a kid just sitting there waiting for this girl to go apartment wrestle. Yeah. And then come pick me up, and we just don't talk about it. And then go to the show, and then drive fucking 3 hours home. Like, think about like a 30-year-old chick just picking up a 16-year-old kid. Like, how weird is fucking life?
It's strange, man.
You know, and I'm wearing a fucking hood, wrestling as the Portuguese Sun Dragon. And she's the Black Widow apartment. I'm like, what the fuck kind of life am I got myself into? But I loved every minute. I still do.
Yeah.
Like when I was in WWE, bro, I'm like, man, when I'm done here, I'm fucking never wrestling ever again.
Yeah.
But dude, like the day I got released, I got so excited to like go do all these fucking. It's weird. I honestly thought after 15 years in WWE and me being 38 now, there's no like I'm not gonna go run the roads anymore, man. You know, I've invested my money. I got my company back home. You know, but I'm fucking working every weekend on all these shows, and I'm having a blast. It's weird. I guess I really do. It's like that. Like analogy, like the guys are like, I fucking like when I was in WWE, I'm like, I fucking hate wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I fucking hate it.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that like really love the business. Then like that guy that's from football or whatever who's like, man, I fucking love this shit.
Yeah, man.
I love this. They never get in the ring ever again when they get released.
Never, man.
So I guess it's like the guys like me, they're like, fuck, I hate this.
Yeah. Well, no, the thing is, it comes out as I hate this, but what it really is
I love it so much that
I hate that I have to do this in this way.
Yeah.
And it's so far from what you started off at, and it's just
it's you know what, dude? It's like being in a band.
Yeah.
And you and your buddies just loved making music.
Yeah.
And now it's like you have to make music.
Yeah.
You have to make music.
Well, you have to play other people's songs.
And you have to
you think
but you
suck.
can't make your music. You have to do it in a way that everyone has to like. It's not your music.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you don't play it just the right way, when you get back through the curtain, someone's going to tell you. Do you know what I'm saying? It's art. It's art.
Man.
You know, just because I don't like rap doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling is, man.
Yeah.
There's no fucking... I mean, obviously, if I'm putting someone on the wrong side and dumping them on their neck, that's not right.
Yeah.
But, like, if you're fundamentally sound, dude, and... Yeah. Like, Teddy Hart, like, some people might not like his shit in WWE, and I don't, maybe I'm going way off, but, like, I kind of like his shit. It's a different style of music, as long as he's not hurting anybody.
Yeah, if you can detach some of his...
But like it's
some of his maneuvers and techniques from the piece of shit guy that he is.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh man, that's you can.
But I mean, I like. But if
you
like
know too much,
but I'm just saying, someone that far over here compared to like a WWE guy.
Yeah.
Who's to say that's bad and that's good?
Yeah.
That's like NWA rap or Garth Brooks.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not. Neither of them are wrong.
Or when Nelly did that country album. Right in the
but
middle,
I always think of wrestling as music in a way.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Like when I get to the back, why didn't you fucking smile when you came to the ring? You're a babyface. Because maybe I'm the type of fucking good guy that doesn't smile when I go to the ring because it's not the fucking 80s anymore. Right? Like, how are you going to tell me how I would, what I would do in a fight?
Yeah.
Or like how I would react when I came to the ring.
Yeah.
So, you know, like.
Can you imagine coming back into a green room and a dude being like, dude, why was your chorus so long?
Yeah, yeah.
I can't. What do
the fans are never gonna do. You know, like
they're never gonna sing along with your songs. Okay.
Am I
No,
way
man.
off? Like,
No. It's
you know what I'm
subjective.
saying?
It's subjective, and I mean, it comes to a point where you're like, the guy in charge chooses how he wants things,
And rightfully so. I mean,
but it's like some things don't matter. Some I don't know, man. I don't know. Everybody within it, when there's a system like that, everybody within the system is trying to grab as much as they can, as much control, because they have no control on the other side. So
that's what Cena would always say. Like, he'd watch every match.
yeah.
And he'd be like, what are you going to do by just going out there playing it safe? Don't, like, go in the fucking crowd and brawl. But, like, just go out there and do something where, like, you go to the back and they'll be, like, either going to yell at you or just make them notice you. Do something so fucking different. Because you got to think, how many matches has Vince McMahon seen? Like, just, how many, like, he probably only pops for really good matches or, like, really shitty matches.
Yeah.
Which I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah.
But, like I like a really good match.
Yeah.
Or a really bad match.
Yeah.
But just a good match, like who the fuck wants to just see?
Yeah.
You want to see something different.
Yeah.
And that's what John would always say, which I always thought was kind of cool. But I mean,
he could
say that from his point of view because he's untouchable.
Yeah.
But like, if I go out there and just do a bunch of fucking Tennessee tiptoes in the dark, maybe I'll get fired. But I could see what he's saying. Like, just try something different, you know.
And that you just have to not care too much, because then you'll drive yourself crazy.
Bro, it's this weird juggling act of caring but not caring.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like...
picking and choosing what to care about.
Yeah. So it's like, we want you to love this shit and just breathe it and eat it and sleep it. But on the other hand, if you don't like what you're doing, don't sell it.
Yeah.
It's, you know, like, it's hard not to love something. It's almost where, like, a guy like Kofi, it's like, all right, bro, we're going to put the IC title on you. Okay. Kofi, we want you to lose to this new Dick Dancer character.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
You know, and there's no motive behind that, like, where I'm going to pretend not to care. He just genuinely he's just a genuinely good human being that's on board to do whatever.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's hard to be that nice of a person, you know, or like no sell shit.
Yeah.
He's just such a good dude, you know.
Yeah. Dude, so you catch MTV's True Life, I'm a Pro Wrestler, and you see, like, oh, it exists on this small...
Well, they're filming
local
shit
scale.
in armories in Maine for that show. We're like, holy fuck. This is before we went to indie shows. We're like, holy fuck, they do small shows. Like, we didn't know about it. So if you watch WWF or WCW or maybe NWA, you don't know there's little fucking shows that are running at the Armory or Columbus.
It's like baseball. You know the Yankees, the Red Sox, or whatever.
The Dodgers.
You don't.
You're like, holy shit! There's like a pickup league down the street. Where they let young guys go. You know, so they're like, holy crap! There's shows in Maine that aren't WWE. So we do a little research. We reach out to James St. Jean, who was actually on that show, who ran Eastern Wrestling Alliance.
EWA.
Eastern Wrestling Alliance, yes, with Tony, who lives in Auburn, Maine. And we find that a gentleman that wrestles for James has a ring in the back of his yard out in Buxton, Maine. We track the guy down, go knock on his door, explain to him that we are trained.
And how many of you are there? There's a handful of you?
Me, my cousin, Patty O'Brien, and a couple other guys, 4 or 5 of us.
Okay.
A cat named Dumpy, who I had my first pro match with. What's up, Dumpy?
Yep.
We tracked this guy down. Apocalypse was his name.
Yeah.
He was on some of the local shows, and he's pretty much... We explained to him that we're trained. We've been wrestling in the backyard for about a year or 2. We can do flaming tables, chairs, barbed wire. Look at these scars on my arm. He's like, yeah, it's fucking awesome, man. You guys come back here Wednesday. We're going to open the ring up. We're going to have a show.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck yeah, man. We're all stoked. So we all get out of work from washing dishes or whatever. We're like, this is the big showdown, you know? Like, this is the dance. We go to Apocalypse's house. He wasn't there. He's like,
damn.
Fuck off, Marks.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
But eventually, one of the kids reached out, got his email or something. He's like, "Hey, I'm selling my ring to this other guy, Larry Huntley."
Would that be the scuffling hillbilly cousin Larry?
Yes, you could probably catch him at Gino's Bar and Grill once a month in Portland, Maine, right down the street from my house.
Hell yeah.
God bless his heart. He's still making towns, renting rings. And he goes, Apocalypse goes, "Hey, I'm selling this ring to another wrestler. He's kind of starting out. His name's Larry Huntley. This is 1999, summer of '99. So we track down Larry. He sets the ring up outside behind some fucking field or something.
Yeah.
It was this weird 16-foot wood ring from Mexico. I don't know how the fuck he got it. Really shitty bump. It was plywood, not planks.
Oof.
Really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
But Larry's like, "Yeah, you guys can pay me. Make sure your folks are cool with us. Training."
Yeah.
And then there was another gentleman by the name of Steve Ramsey who tagged with Scott Taylor in the 80s. Good wrestler, good guy. He's like, "I'm going to help train you guys." So we started training with Steve when he was there. Me, the Dancing Devil, Damien Houston, who was my best friend, Kevin, who's recently passed away.
Yeah.
If you watch WrestleMania, so quick side note, Kevin and I ran the roads from 99 to when he passed away, up and down 95.
Yeah.
And we always thought it was so cool when Sean was walking out in Boston to wrestle Austin at Mania with Tyson. And we always thought when he walked out, he goes, "I'm the fucking man."
Yeah.
And this is a true story. Ask Sami Zayn. I told him this. I gave him goosebumps.
Yeah.
And we always thought Sean said, "I'm the fucking man" when he came out. So I go, Kevin and I had a deal. And it's like, dude, if any of us ever get to Mania, you gotta look at the fucking camera and say, "I'm the fucking man."
Yeah.
So to watch my match with Lionheart, bro.
Yeah.
I got Kevin written on my fucking wrist tape. I come out, I look at the camera, and I go, "I'm the fucking man."
Yeah.
And I got heat for saying that. I got yelled at, and I got in trouble for writing Kevin, but I didn't give a fuck when I got to the back.
Yeah, I mean.
So I had to keep up the promise, dude.
Yeah.
Like if one of us made it to Mania, he
You
passed
both
away.
made it, bro.
It was a pretty cool story. I remember them sitting me down after, like, "Why the fuck would you write Kevin on your arm? And why would you look in the camera and say that or spit gum?" And I'm like, because once I'm out there, I mean, it's WrestleMania, but I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
And no one can take that shit away from me.
No, man.
At least I got the story, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the dog tags, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was...
I think I told Sammy that, and he did that at...
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, I wish I could talk to him right now and ask him. I think he did it like a takeover or Mania or something. He thought that was a cool story.
Yeah. Did you go back? Did you ever talk to Sean about this? Did you ever tell him?
No. I didn't want to.
It'd be funny if he was like, "Oh no, I didn't say that."
That's why I didn't ask him.
Yeah.
No, that's why I didn't ask him because I didn't want it to ruin the story.
Yeah.
It's like when you like a song and you think it means something.
Yeah.
Then you find out the meaning or a piece of art that you really like.
Yeah.
That's what wrestling is, man. It's art, and if you find out something that it means something different to all of us, you know. And I never wanted to know because if he told me, it was like, if he said like, let's do this, town, or like, I would be like, "Oh, that sucks," you know, like.
Yeah.
So, but that's what it means to me and Kevin's brother and my group of guys that we started out with, and it means a lot to them. So.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me about Dr. Payne.
Dr. Payne.
Yeah.
So I just saw Dr.
Yeah.
Payne. So dude, I this local company up in have you ever worked for Limitless?
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Cool guy, Randy up there. I used to go work out in their ring just off and on when I was home. It's like 2 or 3 hours north of Portland, and just good dudes. Good. They love the business, and any company that's in my home state, I try to support. So I'm working with him now, and I my first show back, the day I was off contract was for Limitless. I come out, I just do a little promo, and I look over Dr. Payne. He used to manage me when I first started.
Yeah, you were one of his followers.
He's like, fuck it. I could see just just like, he was so fucking happy to see me, and I hugged him, and he's a good dude. I think he works on Larry Huntley's shows at Gino's.
Yep.
But But just to come out and see probably 30 people that have seen me since I was, you know, 16.
Yeah.
It was cool, man.
Yeah.
It was like coming home. You know, it was more fulfillment that I felt in a ring in a long time.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't just about money. It reminded me why I fucking picked up the guitar in the garage, you know? So.
Yeah. According to Cage Match, Skowhegan, Maine.
Skowhegan, yeah.
Skowhegan, Maine, August 12th, 2000.
Bundy was on that show.
Portuguese Sun Dragon makes his debut.
Chris was on that show. Bundy was that
Bundy,
name?
yeah.
Chris, he wrestled Sky King on that show.
Really? Okay.
So Larry still does, you know, fair shows. They'll pay for a
sold
wrestling
show. Yeah.
So it was a paid show. I remember being a kid and getting like $150, and that show drew like 2,000 people. Man, it was like one of my first matches, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is wrestling. This is pretty cool, you know.
Yeah.
And then I got a taste of what wrestling really was like the next weekend. But I remember Bunny was there.
Yeah.
Good house. That company, James, his ring was like an old WWF ring, I think.
Yeah. Possible.
22 foot. No, legit, bro. It was 22 fucking feet, and it had the spring in the middle.
Yeah.
And it was completely rusted. Mm-hmm. It was reinforced. It might have been WWF. Remember when they reinforced the rings for all the big dudes?
Yes.
It was one of those fucking rings, and the bump was just like this.
Yeah.
And it being 160 pounds, you're not moving that thing. I remember how stiff that shit was.
Yeah. Who named you Sun Dragon? That wasn't your own creation?
Danhausen did. Danhausen. I'm a big fan of that guy.
Yeah,
I've never
Sun
even met him.
Dragonhausen.
So you know who Joe Eugenio is? He ran Yankee Pro Wrestling. I think he ran Yankee Pro Wrestling from like the He started in the 70s.
Yeah,
so that's where like PJ Walker, Scott Taylor, probably Tommy Dreamer, or Taz. A lot of those guys probably worked for him in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But he was kind of a staple up there, and they ran New Bedford, Massachusetts, and Fall River, Massachusetts. Those were two big towns they ran. Really, really high Portuguese population. So like PJ, I was actually telling PJ this story last week.
The Man of War.
Yeah, I got a picture of us, the Portuguese Sun Dragon, the Portuguese Man of War. So it's like 75%. I don't know, I just made that up, but really high Portuguese population.
Yeah,
because it's the whaling city. It's a lot of shipping and whatever the fuck whaling is.
Yeah.
But, so the promoter goes, listen, you look like you're fucking 12, which I did.
Yeah.
No one's going to believe you actually wrestling a grown man.
Yeah.
Wear this mask. Okay.
Because you were still pretty tall, though.
I was like 6. So when I first started wrestling, I was 6 feet. I'm 6'3", 6'4" now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was probably $160.
Yeah.
But I was tall, so they're like, put a hood on.
Yeah, cover up the baby face.
Yeah, they're like, well, what the fuck's my name? They're like, the Portuguese Sun Dragon. I'm like, all right,
man.
And it's funny, I did Colt's podcast like 10 years ago, and we talked about the Sun Dragon, and like everyone talks to me like if I do Access, dude, what's up with the Sun Dragon?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna start wrestling with the Sun Dragon.
Yeah.
Which probably no one would fucking get, but just to pop myself.
It's good to have something in your back pocket.
So that's the story of that.
Yeah, I love it. See, man, you're working in Vermont, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Maine. You find yourself teaming occasionally with Frankie Armadillo.
Yeah, I can't find him, man.
Yeah, how'd you become his brother?
So Matt was one of the kids, Frankie, who started training with us in the backyard with Larry.
Yeah.
He was a good worker, man. I remember that, and this is one of those cases, guys. And I tell people this all the time: if you want to be in a band or an actor or a professional wrestler, everyone that I started with in that backyard, I don't mean backyard wrestling. I mean the ring setup.
Ring in a backyard.
The ring setup in the backyard.
Yeah.
It's like I was probably the worst, skinniest, shittiest one out of all of them.
Yeah.
You know, like just timid, trepidatious, and just nervous and stiff. Mm-hmm. So I was probably like the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
But I was the only one that just kind of stuck with it. And everyone else, you know, they met a girl, they got into drugs. Yep. So like, if you want to be a fucking actor, or you want to be in a band, or you want to be the Portuguese Sun Dragon or a dick dancer, just fucking keep doing it long enough, and eventually, if you like it,
he'll outlast people.
yeah. Like, look at Morgan Freeman, dude. He was an actor forever.
Yeah.
And he was doing plays out in L.A. And he was like 50.
Yeah.
And got cast into Robin Hood.
Yeah.
So he didn't get his first break until he was 50. I could be wrong, but like I think he was 50.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he was sleeping on like some dude's couch. He just liked acting.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I'm attracted to in this business. That when they're not getting paid 10 grand a week, are they still gonna go do the VFW? Yeah. You know, and those are the best shows. So like, my other analogy besides music is stand-up comedy. So like, I like what Chappelle did when he got done with. He was so burnt out with Comedy Central, and just you could see it took the fun out of the shtick. Yeah. So he would just get like a fucking boombox and a mic, and go just start riffing on the sidewalks in L.A. or wherever the hell he was at. Yeah. I think L.A. Or maybe even Ohio. Where
he lives in Ohio, Yellow Springs.
But he would just go into a bar in Austin or wherever at closing time and be like, yo, man, can I grab the mic? And they're like, Dave Chappelle. Please. And he'd just be, yo, what's up, guys? You know? And like those little 100 people would just stay and they'd close the doors. Yeah. And those are they want to be there, you know? Yeah. And like those are the kind of shows that I'm doing now. And those are the people that I'm kind of attracted to.
And it's stripped down, it's raw, it's the essence of it without all the extra stuff on top.
Wrestling just became work for me, and it just became about money. And obviously I still want to make money, and I'm still a carny fuck. But but you tend to forget why you got into it, man. You know? Yeah. For sure.
Let's see. You did work a match as Johnny Curtis up in 2001. The results would have me. Yeah. What? You're just trying a couple different things out.
So we threw the name Frankie Armadillo needed a tag partner, and we're like Johnny Armadillo. Yeah. So I was wrestling as Johnny Armadillo. Yeah. The Damned. You ever heard of the Damned?
Yeah, they were a tag team.
Yep. Good guys, good workers. Matt still follows me on Twitter. I think we shoot the shit here and there. I don't know what happened to Draven, but they were doing a show, PWF Northeast. And I think Matt he goes, we can't call you Johnny Armadillo. Johnny, obviously my name's Curtis. Johnny Curtis. So Matt came up with the name. Yeah. They were cool with Carino at the time. This was like the early 2000s. And Steve had a really cool promotion called PWF. Down in Pottstown,
PA.
Yeah, and I'd go down there and watch the shows and try to get in. Yeah. And I think we'd do like a Quackenbush seminar here and there. Yeah. But PWF was a really cool company in the early 2000s. Did you work for them?
Or? I did. I did one show for them, but they did. He had his local guys, but he would also bring in the Briscoes or the Amazing Red.
They were like all the top indie.
Or when some, Masato Tanaka or Otani or Hashimoto would be in the States.
They were a really good
put
show.
Them on there. Yeah, it was a good mix.
So we were like the shitty indie guys, and Carino liked the Dam would go work for Steve. Yep. So we became PWF Northeast. Yeah. And it definitely wasn't as good as the real PWF.
Hey, man. I got just a couple funny names here that I came across in results, and I don't even know if you'll remember them, but do you know a guy named the Cold Warrior? The Cold Warrior? No. He doesn't even have a cage match page. He was just listed in a tag match with the Cold Warrior.
He might have done a Native American gimmick.
Yeah.
The Cold Warrior.
What about Poet 420? Do you remember this guy?
I wrestled him?
I mean, these seem like made-up names.
The Poet 420.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably. I've worked some really bad.
Yeah,
bro. Yeah. If you guys go if you saw where I came from. Yeah. Okay. You just watched one of my matches versus Jim
Of course.
If you go, this kid's gonna be on like 6 WrestleManias or 7 and wrestle Chris Jericho in his first match, you'd be like, "Fuck you."
This guy.
Like this. I started off at some really bad. I wasn't really trained properly.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, Steve showed us how to hit the ropes and stuff, but he wasn't a full-time trainer. Yeah. I wasn't really trained until I went to Kowalski's school with Mike Hollow until 03, 04. Yep. So I started off at like some really shitty, and anybody that was booking me is like, all right, whatever,
Yeah. A couple other names from that area. You've got Maverick Wild.
Yeah, Maverick.
Yeah. Chi Cruz.
Chi-Chi.
We talked about him a lot last couple days.
We saw Chi-Chi in Enfield, Connecticut a couple days ago.
Yeah. Dylan Cage.
Dylan Cage, yeah.
Yeah. Tarzan Taylor.
Big, tall, blonde kid, yeah.
Yeah. And here's a fun one. You were in a group called the Talent Exchange. Do you remember this?
Me and Ken Doan, yeah.
Yeah, Ken Phoenix.
Kenny Phoenix,
Ken
yeah.
Phoenix.
And his brother was in it, too.
Yeah.
So his brother, Mike, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think it was Mike
yeah.
Phoenix. His brother was a good worker.
Yeah.
Big kid, yeah.
Man, so tell me how you ended up at Kowalski's, and I know you weren't there a long time, but how did you find it? Like,
so Kevin,
did you enjoy it? Yeah.
Kevin's brother was Palmer Cannon.
Okay.
On SmackDown, so it was Kevin, Brian Palmer, and myself. We all started off together.
Yeah.
Brian started in the backyard with us. Brian started going down to Chaotic. Kowalski's turned into Chaotic.
Yeah.
So Kofi started there. Chad Wicks. This is around the time I was there.
Chad Wicks.
Wow. Handsome Johnny actually helped train me finally properly.
Yep.
So
Ivar of the
Chase Del Monte. Tommaso was there. A lot of good guys that are still top guys in the business right now came out of that class.
Eddie Edwards.
Yeah. A bunch of Sasha.
Yeah.
Sasha. Makazi. Kid Makazi.
Yeah. Jason Blade.
So I was like kind of trained, just working shows, and then I got a rude awakening when I went to Chaotic, and Mike Hall was like, "Yo, pretty much, you don't know shit."
Yeah.
And I didn't think I did. I wasn't like a cocky kid.
Yeah.
But like, it was like learning to golf and fucking skipping all over the fundamentals. Like I could do a shooting star press off a bar, or some twisting moonsault shit, or run up tornado DDT off the top. But I couldn't do a headlock takeover properly.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that was kind of like everyone liked Jeff Hardy back then, so they wanted to learn fucking swantons before. Like, what do you want to learn? You want to learn how to take a head over correctly, or a chicken wing, or do you want to learn a swanton?
Yep.
To match your high spot swing tips and your fucking hot topic.
I went through the same thing. I'd been working not quite a year and I met Matt Stryker, not New York Striker, Unibrow Striker from Heartland.
I don't know him, but I know of him. Yeah.
And he encouraged me to go to Les Thatcher's, and I went to Les's.
You're like, fuck, I don't know.
Oh, it was a culture shock, and I didn't know how to do an arm drag properly, and I kind of just
doing like this.
super humiliated, and then was like, oh, okay, I kind of. And then started to put things together, but I had to experience that myself.
Yeah.
I was there, working a year, and like.
I wish I just went there first.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wish I just went there first, because it's like, I don't wish I went there first, because you can't. I was comfortable in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And like some guys were good at practice there, but they didn't know how to express themselves in front of a crowd. I grew up. Like that clip you just showed me, I wasn't afraid to go out and be loud in front of people. If you want to be a professional wrestler, you have to be comfortable being observed.
Yeah.
So if you're fucking shy going to Starbucks and ordering a coffee, like you got to think about where you want to, like what you really want to do.
Yeah.
So being in front of people like Regal and Robbie Brookside, those guys grew up performing and doing their shtick.
Yeah.
Whether I wasn't doing the fundamentals correctly or not, you can't replace the time I had and working those fairs and the carnival shit. But I do regret. I kind of wish I did go there first and then kind of work Chaotic shows. But I mean, it is what it is. You can't go back. It's humbling as fuck, because you think you're kind of good. I worked a dark match in TNA or something.
Yeah.
And you don't know how to do a fucking headlock takeover. But the guys there were so cool, man. Like Kofi and Handsome Johnny, who's killing. Yeah. He finally got his break, and that goes to back to what I said. Like he could have quit 100 times, before he got his run in ROH and went to Japan. He was
before Kofi got signed. Handsome Johnny. Warbeard, Ivar, whatever you want to call him. He was there at the same time, doing the same tryout camps, the same things, and he just got passed over, and it's not like he wasn't good. You know, he was having dark.
You got to
matches
figure
and
out
stuff.
what your shtick is.
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
my thing is like you need to eat shit for a few. Like, the old analogy in the territory is you start off as a happy, excited baby face, right? And you love wrestling.
Yeah.
And as the years progress, the business wears you down,
Yeah.
and then you become a heel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what Dr. Tom always told us. And it's
Yeah.
kind of true.
Yeah.
Like, I started in FCW, like, fucking young, kind of pretty boy kid, you know, fucking... And then as the years go by, the business starts to get to you.
Yeah.
And you become a good heel.
Yeah.
And you start to control the matches.
Yeah.
And you become a little jaded in real life with the business. And that kind of comes across.
Yeah.
And then eventually, your next thing you know, you're fucking almost 40. And you're telling guys, I don't want to take that.
Yeah. That doesn't work for me, brother.
No.
Yeah.
Maybe next. You know what? We're gonna come back with this. Okay.
Yeah.
Promoter wants us to do a fucking nice program.
Yeah.
We're not gonna give it away tonight.
Yeah.
We'll do it next month.
Yeah. Come on, man. Team Tap Out.
Oh fuck. Palmer Cannon, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brian is a beautiful person. Man. And
That's
get
Brian
into
Black as Palmer Cannon?
We'll get into that. Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't know since then. Okay.
Yeah.
Brian, who left the business, went probably 05. I'm doing construction. He came back, started working with me. Brian just decides he's getting into MMA, jiu-jitsu. The motherfucker's like a third degree. Dude, his calling.
Yeah.
So like wrestling brought him to his calling.
Yeah.
Which was jiu-jitsu and fucking fighting. So Brian left the WWE.
Yeah.
Got into jiu-jitsu, went on to win like second or third in Pan Am with Gi, went to Abu Dhabi. He's a fucking shoot badass.
Yeah.
But he just got into it a little too late. So he
Yeah.
was like in the mid-30s in a young man's game, kind of like what Punk did.
Yeah.
But like, he's fucking legit, bro. And I was so proud of him and how he just, you know, like sometimes what we think our dream is brings us to what our real dream is.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and things change over time.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, we were Team Tap Out, and our fucking finish was a double Fujiwara.
Oh,
which was, you can't,
Yeah.
there's two guys in the ring,
What
but it's the fucking shitty indies.
Yeah.
Like, the refs was like, and the cat can hit tap.
Yeah.
He's like,
Tap Out.
yeah, so they're like, ring the bell.
Yeah.
And we were like, Tap Out. This is when Tap Out was huge. Remember when Tap Out first came out?
Of course. With like it was on the MMA guys' trunks.
And it was like, we were really into he was more into MMA, but we liked it.
Yeah.
And before WWE bought Tap Out, like 20 years.
I was gonna say, when you were Team Tap Out, did you realize one day how much Tap Out apparel you would
15
own?
years. We're like 18 years from now, Vince is gonna find out about Tap Out and buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only going to be available at the
At
Performance Center at JCPenney. Man, pop quiz for you.
Oh shit.
Do you remember the first time you and I were on a show together?
Yeah, TNA.
Damn.
You were a fucking Superman shirt.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, fuck, that's Chris Hero. He's a lot taller than I thought.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought of you.
How funny.
How tall you were. I'm like, fuck, he's a pretty big dude. I remember, who started on that show was Dallas.
Mm-hmm. Lance Hoyt.
Lance and I, I don't know if Lance and I, because we were like two young boys, fucking, he's coming in from Texas, and he's a sweet guy. You know?
Yeah.
He just, how you doing, man? Whatever, and like, just a nice kid. We're both nervous. We're both kids, 18, 19, 20, whatever. It's like, we go down to the diner, you get the meal.
White Trash Cafe, man. You get your meal ticket and go down. Yeah.
But I remember he had a dark, and Dutch is like fucking... I remember them pulling him aside, and I was like really happy for him because they liked him. I think they signed him after that. Mm-hmm. But I remember, were you signed there?
No. I had a match that got on Bill Barron's radar, and then he was like, "Hey man, you should come in for an explosion match sometime."
Bill hooked me up too.
So then I was living in Clarksville, Indiana, which was, less than a 3-hour drive from Nashville. And I would go pretty much every week with...
Is it Tuesdays?
With Wednesdays.
Wednesdays.
With Nate Webb and
Webb.
and Dave Prazak, and we would make the drive because Barron's like, hey, anytime you can be here, we'll try to get you on.
Yeah.
So I ended up having about a dozen matches or so down
Explosion.
in Nashville. Yeah, the Explosion Click. That's where I met Delirious and Matt Seidel and Daisy. But you teamed with a guy named Jared Steele. I'm not familiar with who that is, but you also teamed with Nate Webb.
Nate Webb, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Against 3 Live Crew.
Yeah. So I remember.
It's Road Dogg, Conan, and Ronnie Killings.
Fuck. I remember Dog. He said, hey, man. He said, yo, do you do an up and over? I'm like, yeah. He's like, cool. That's all I call it. So we get out there, and I'm like bumping all around and waiting for this fucking up and over. Dog never got in the match. Because they had like a promo and a main event to do. They're like, why the fuck do we have to do this dark? It's like doing a dark match before you go live on Raw.
Yeah.
Like none of those guys were excited to go. Yeah. Because you have like a 2 seg. Yeah. And then a promo. They're like, wait, we got to wrestle 3 fucking jabronis before they just want to get through the match and get to the back without getting fucked up.
And then also you're doing your entrance in front of the live crowd, which will diminish your pop. Yeah.
But I remember, side note, I remember getting to the back and Terry Taylor pulling me aside and just me doing some fundamental. This is when I first started. What year was this? 03? 03. So this is when I first started training with Mike Hollow and Handsome Johnny. Yep. And was starting to get some fundamental shit down and started to put on a little size and focusing more on footwork and headlocks and just the basic shit. But Terry's like, hey man, you got some size, you got a good look. Just stick with this shit. I'm like, and I remember just driving home because I would drive from Boston to Nashville.
Solo.
Yeah.
Damn, that is.
And I just remember driving home all fucking stoked, man. Yeah. I thought I was like, but you don't, you never forget like the people that were really nice to you or like the assholes that,
of course,
and it's, you could see some like young kid on a show next week, bro. And like, you can be a complete dick to him and you never know where that kid's going to end up. And there's no reason to be an asshole to him, Yeah. But you could be really nice to him and give him some good advice and then fucking next thing you know, he's Seth Rollins or, and it takes more energy to be a dick to someone than does it just to be cool,
Yeah. On that episode, I had a singles match with Joe Legend. When he was doing the red shirt security thing, I took a drop toe hold onto the second rope and cracked my sternum.
Fuck. I thought you were assigned there.
Yeah. No, I was just there all the time. I never got on a pay-per-view, but I was always on Explosion.
I always saw you there whenever I was there. So
and I got a trading card in the set.
Because you were like a big indie name. You and Punk were doing the like fucking hour matches and shit.
Yep. So what I think is cool here is carrying on into 2004, you kept coming back and doing more matches in Nashville for Explosion. Yeah. And brother, you teamed with Nate Webb at least 3 times. I feel like
remember that.
Yeah.
I know I tagged with Kev Matthews a couple times.
Yep. Well, there's one on here with you teaming with Nate Webb and then teaming with a guy named the Mayor. I don't know who that is. I know there was an FCW guy later named the Mayor. I don't think it was the same guy. Elix Skipper, Jerry Lynn, and Sanjay.
I remember. You know what? I remember that match.
Yeah.
And how cool is Jerry Lynn, by the way?
Yeah.
I remember Elix being really cool. I remember we went out and had like a really good match.
Yeah.
Those 2 kids might have been from Mexico.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I remember getting to the back and Vince Russo, was he there at that time? I think he was. Mm-hmm. He's like, and I thought he was fucking with us. Yeah. But he like really liked the match. I thought it was like one of those, fuck you. Really good shit.
Who'd you work?
Yeah. But he was like, good fucking match. I'm like, whoa. Yeah. But Jerry I remember Elix like ran down the ropes and did something. Those guys were good, man.
Yeah.
Elix doesn't wrestle anymore?
He does not. No. Not that I know of.
He was good, man. Yeah. He was really good.
Yeah, he was my first match for Explosion.
Yeah.
Nice guy. With him.
He was a little bit older, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't look it.
Mm-hmm. He was always in great shape.
Yeah. He was a nice guy, man.
And then there's another one where you teamed with Nate against the Naturals. That you came back and had a singles with Alex Shelley, which is pretty cool.
Nose. Sorry, Alex.
Ooh, what'd you bust his nose on?
I think a clothesline, dude. I started to put a little size on, so I remember I got to the back, and like Terry really liked me for some reason.
Yeah.
And he's like, Alex, just when he closes on you, put your hand up like this and push off him. And I'm thinking, no, I don't think that's right. But I'm not gonna argue with it because you're defending me. But I remember fucking Scott Demore was pissed, which I was like it was this guy, and I was like a little jabroni guy, and I like busted his nose. But I probably would have been pissed too. But I remember I was really upset because if you have a really good match and you have an 18-hour drive, it makes the drive go by a lot better than if you just got yelled at. But it's like, dude, so it's like being a comic where you bomb, and as long as you bomb and you're willing to be like, well, fuck it, and just keep showing back up.
You pick a thing or two that you can mix up and change.
Yeah.
And Jason Rumble, he was a guy from that area.
Yeah. So you know who Tony Rumble is, right?
Yeah.
So he was really close with Tony.
Yeah.
Tony was a big NWA New England guy.
Tony passed
98, 99?
Yeah, like 99, because
Yeah.
I was wrestling for NWA West Virginia.
Yeah.
And he was NWA New England or whatever. And I just, there were like ratings online, and you'd do these NWA conventions, and people would come from all over. So that's where I first heard of his name.
Tony was big. It was like the IWC.
CCW.
So like that's when Tommy and all the ECW guys would come up and work.
Savoldi.
Yep.
Pristine Christine managed you. I thought that's a hell of a name.
That's Adam Booker's ex. What?
Yeah.
I guess that. Don't.
Yeah.
I
mean, brother, we're 16 years later. I think it's okay if we mistake a...
I know. But, sorry, Adam. I'm not sure if you guys are still married or not.
Yeah.
I think they were married.
Yeah.
Nice girl.
Okay, so I've got a bit of a gap here from April 05 to October 06.
That's
I know
when Kevin passed away.
Okay, so I know you ended up in Deep South, but what was going on in this
Kev
time period?
So Kev passed away that spring of 05.
Yeah.
I got into drinking. Went out, blew my hand out in a bar fight, and that's why my hand looks like that. I never got it fixed. I actually cut that tendon.
Damn.
With stabbing knives in a Europe tour one time.
The alien.
Yeah,
gimmick?
but the knife slipped and
anyways,
but Kev died right around that time. I blew my hand out, quit the business.
Yeah.
It reminded me of him too much, and became a real civilian, got into construction.
Mm-hmm.
About 6 months into that, realized or maybe did it for a year. So I took about a year off from the ring. Went and saw Brian, who got signed.
Mm-hmm.
So
Paul McCannon.
Brian got signed, moved to Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Was doing well. He was down there. I remember calling him from the gym phone because I never had a cell phone. I didn't get a cell phone until I was like 23.
Yeah.
I called Brian from the gym. He's like, man, Brian was the toughest, most. He's like the Terminator. He was built for like fighting.
Yeah.
And he was very regimented and just work. People from Maine have this really good work ethic.
Yeah.
And for him to go, dude, I don't know. It's like my older brother going, dude, I don't know if I can get through another night of this training.
Ooh.
Told me, like, Bill's training had to have been tough.
Yeah.
But he never quit. And for him to say that, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
It must be really tough. So I remember going down to McDonough and just watching one of his shows, and he was killing it, man. The office called, and they wanted this. Remember how Cyrus did like a network executive gimmick? Mm-hmm. So they wanted to do the same thing for SmackDown. PC, Paul McCannon, and they had tryouts, and Brian cuts a really good promo, and he was doing it, and he was doing really well. And I remember going down and seeing him, and being really happy for him.
Yeah.
So I just was completely out of the business and doing construction, and I think maybe fucking a year into that, I'm like, dude, I'm not meant for civilian life.
Yeah.
You know. So Brian since left the WWE and was back home, and I called in a favor. I go, listen, can you call? This isn't working for me. I'm dating some fucking chick. I could see my life at that time. I could just see myself, like I could see it being the same for the next 60 years or how long I was going to live.
Yeah.
So Brian called in a favor to Jody Hamilton, called the assassin up, and Brian just left, and he goes, "Listen, my boy's coming down. Can he pay and go to your beginner class?" He goes, "Sure." And then Brian called Eric Perez, Mike Knox, and Ryan O'Reilly, who he's really close with, and said, "Listen, keep an eye out for my kid." I packed my shit up, went down, stayed at a hotel for a little while, slept in my car. Eventually got to know Ryan. He goes, "Listen, I'm living with Knox and Nykirk, who are now on ECW full time. You can stay." They took me in. I worked at Applebee's at night, trained with Bill in the morning. And
was there anybody else in these beginner classes
Seamus.
that would...
Seamus,
okay.
which obviously you guys think this kid from Montana, and he did it. His name was Seamus.
Oh, Seamus the Famous?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which, dude, like a few years ago, I'm talking to Kofi, or someone sends me a link, and he passed away from brain cancer.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, really nice kid, man.
Yeah.
Really, really good kid.
Yeah.
And I think it was just me, Seamus, and Melissa Coates.
Yeah.
Who just passed away as well.
Damn.
She was a real nice lady.
Yeah.
And I think we're the only three. Obviously, there were some unsigned guys, like Gangrel was on the show.
Yep.
Godwin would come in, do the shows. There was a few guys that I thought were under contract, but like they'd make the unsigned talent guys leave the room when they had meetings, and me and like Gangrel would be out in the parking lot. I'm like, "Why are you out here?" I'm not signed, dude. I'm like, you're not fucking signed?
Yeah.
And Jody would just bring him in as a favor. But yeah, I was training with Bill and then working at Applebee's at night, and with Dave Taylor too.
Yeah.
Dave was there.
Yeah. It says your first Deep South match was against David Heath. So is that right, or yeah? So tell me about. I mean, you came up watching these guys, and now you're in the ring.
Super
with
nervous.
The Vampire Warrior.
So, I love you, Dave, and I just saw you last week. I don't think you remember me, but maybe he did. His back hit.
Yeah.
But super cool in the back.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet guy.
Yeah.
Just a sweet guy.
Yeah.
We get out there, and I'm like, this guy fucking hates me.
He's intense.
I thought I thought like, what I'm thinking, like thinking like, what did I say to him?
Yeah.
But he's trying to get a job. Like he's laying his shit in, and he's over. I'm the job guy. He's not being dangerous.
No.
But he's
just heavy.
He's heavy.
Yeah.
And we get to the back, sweet guy. Yeah. Just sweet.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's like when your dad slaps you but then hugs you.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like, where are you guys going after the show? I'm like, oh, he just works that's just how he works.
Yeah.
And then I think we worked a few more, and I just kind of gave it back to him, and he was cool. And
yeah.
But you're young and nervous, and
I worked with Dave for All Star in England.
Yeah.
And I remember one of the Gangrel staples is that corkscrew elbow drop, right? And you're like, oh, it looks so sick, especially when he had that shirt off. Yeah. And I remember him hitting me with this and being like, oh, I took a slam on the floor. I'm like, oh man, it's nothing.
But
that's
what a sweet
dangerous.
guy, though, right? Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
I just thought he fucking hated me, and they had like a hit out of me. They're like, kill the kid.
Kill the kid.
Kill the kid. Get him out of here. But Jody wouldn't have done that.
No. But also, he was a man, and we're like boys coming into pro wrestling. Yeah. So it's just
he was probably 38. I don't know how old he was then, but
yeah. Dan Rodheimer. Yeah. You got anything?
Fuck, man. I could say a lot about Dan.
Yeah.
There's some shit.
But, just a peculiar
girlfriends. Yeah. And I'm not gonna bury him. Yeah. Dan's a good guy. Remember what I talked about when we first started this gimmick about when you're done with WWE
and then you never step in a ring ever again. Yeah.
A lot of people want to get into wrestling to become famous.
Yeah.
Or use it for a platform to get to the next level, which is totally acceptable because WWE wants to use talent. It's a mutual deal.
Yeah.
You know? It was quite obvious. Dan was a tough enough guy. Yeah. Got a lot of heat. He went on the road, got a lot of heat with Eki and Randy back when it was the fucking Wild West.
Yeah.
He respected me because all those guys, I would get there super early, set up the ring, tighten the ropes. They knew I was all there. I was there on my own dime.
Yeah.
So like no one really fucked with me, but I could get into a whole bunch of Rodheimer shit down the road.
Yeah.
But we'll just leave it at...
Sure.
We'll leave it at that. I did wait outside a bar for him for like 2 hours to fucking... He snuck out the back, but whatever. He's running for Senate in Vegas.
He's a giant guy, too.
Dude, they loved him.
Yeah, of course.
Be like, bro, all you got to do is get to the fucking... Just don't fuck up. Get to TV and just have a match.
Yeah.
And you'll make $1 million.
Yeah.
And he just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so I'm going to name through some of these Deep South legends, and then feel free to comment if you, obviously you got the majors, of course. Good,
dude, I thought they were
brothers.
fucking shoot brothers when I met them.
Yeah.
Great dudes. I mean, we hit it off. We're all the same age. We started off together. I thought they were shoot brothers.
Yeah.
When I first saw them, I knew they'd get called up. They just had a good look, and my class. Yeah, they're my class. You know.
Yeah, Ray Gordy.
Fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah.
So, Ray's a man's man, like a real dude, you know. And in a business with some kids, Ray was a man.
Yeah.
And obviously his dad was too. But Jody had it out for Ray. I don't know if you just want me to comment on these or go into...
Yeah, I mean, whatever, yeah.
I won't keep going,
Please.
but I got stories for all these guys.
Yeah.
Jody didn't like Ray's dad for some reason, with some sort of dispute in MSG back in the day, the Freeboards and the Assassins. So, I don't know what the fuck it was. There was some heat there.
Yeah.
But Ray would always wrestle me on the first match, and I would always go over on the spot shows.
Yeah.
And Ray's like, fuck!
He's getting him back.
He's like, fuck that motherfucker. So,
I wrestled Ray in, I feel like it was 2003 when he had just come back from the dojo in Japan.
Yeah, he was fucking good, man.
Dude, he's got this promo. It's IWA Mid-South, right? And I think he and I had a singles, and then it turned into a tag the next day, including me and Homicide against him and BJ Whitmer, right?
Yeah.
And Ray was not a promo guy at first, so they're like, hey, you got to cut this promo. And then, BJ's cutting his, Southern wrestling, we're gonna get you boys, whatever. And then he smacks Ray Gordy and he goes, apparently you don't know who the fuck I am. And I'm just like, oh my god, he's so intense. I'm like,
he's an intense dude. One time we were going over Battle Royal for some spot show. I look over, I see Ray. And they're arguing, they can't get the fucking finish. He goes, all right, motherfucker, if you think you can throw me over the top rope, then fucking do it. And they just walked away. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm getting out of there quick. He's like, you think you can throw me over the top rope? Then fucking do it. I'm like, oh shit. Dude, Ray's the best.
Yeah.
Man. I think he's a cop now somewhere.
Oh man.
Do you think you can throw me over the top rope? Fucking do it. I'm like, oh shit, stay away from Ray.
I will remember that one.
Yeah. He's a good dude, man. I miss Ray.
Yeah.
Good dude.
Hell yeah.
Good brother.
So I watched a couple of his promos in the last
He got
day
good
or
when he was
two,
with
right?
Festus and shit.
Yeah.
You just need reps, bro.
Yep.
It's just reps.
Speaking of, we got the freaking Deacon.
What the fuck can you say about the freaking Deacon?
Oh, I encourage. I think everybody loves Gallows. Everybody knows how funny he is now. He used to be kind of like a best kept secret. Like he was a great locker room guy, but people didn't know. Now I think everybody knows how funny and gregarious he is.
It's the best.
Go and look up him as the freaking Deacon.
The thing about Gallows is, and they asked me earlier. Somebody asked me. I don't know what the fuck they asked me on how many action figures. What do you have at your house for? Memorabilia. I go, I have one piece of WWE memorabilia. It's a fucking Luke Gallows straight edge society doll. I don't know why I have that, but Drew was the guy when I came in that went out. He was good friends with Brian.
Yeah.
He went out of his way. And I'm like, man, this is cool. This fucking old guy from the. I'm like, this.
He's like a territory guy. This guy.
I'm like, that's cool that Jody's bringing in fucking. This
guy used to
from
work
the NWA,
with?
or he's like an old mid-south or like a world-class guy. Like I don't know who he is, but that's cool. He's giving him give him a run, because I saw Scorpio was there, Godwin, Dave was there. I'm like, that's cool. They're giving brother. He's like, no, I'm 22. I'm like, you're younger than I am.
They wouldn't.
He's like 6'8". 300 pounds. But when I got there, he
Yeah.
was training to be Kane.
Yeah.
So he was like getting ready to be Glenn.
Yeah.
And they gave him this like shitty wig. And
yeah.
it wasn't his fault. But
Yeah.
there's not enough time for us to just sit here and talk about when they came to WWE.
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Yep.
Carl and I hit it off, and just two of the best. Like, they were wrestling to me, and I drove with them.
Yeah.
Sorry, Gallows, we got in a fist fight in San Antonio. We don't have enough time to talk about that. But, like, when I think of wrestling, I think of Carl.
Yeah.
And, like, that's wrestling to me. Like, just two.
Yeah.
When you're on the road, bro, and you're tired, and you miss your girl, you miss your family, you miss your dog.
And there's bullshit everywhere.
There's just so much bullshit.
Yeah.
Gallows comes into the locker room. He's like, "Oh fuck," just like you need those guys that take their head up from their phone. They're like this.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? Hey. And they grab us. Those are the guys we started with in the fucking 90s, the biker guys.
Yeah.
That like, fuck, man, the Rick Fullers and the
Wow,
Rick
Fuller, that's a good one.
like that's what wrestling locker rooms were like.
Yeah.
Like, you grab ass and you bust each other's balls and fuck you. We got no bar fight. I know I'm not telling guys like go out and drink and do drugs, but like you can talk in the locker room and bullshit and like if Gallows doesn't put you in a good mood, man, when you're on the road, like and that's the same thing with Brody, man. That's what I always say about Brody. You can be so far away from home, man, and he would just say some wise ass shit and just
you knew how to wind him up. He knew how to press buttons.
Cesaro, fucking Brody, like those are the guys that and none of them are like, they're not party guys or like they're just funny guys, you know. And I wish wrestling had more of that. And we don't have. We could talk about Gallows all fucking day. I just love it.
And a sad thing about this is that the pandemic has kind of stunted that, because it's starting to come back a little bit more now.
Guys just want to do their match and get the fuck out of
and
here.
there's not as much road trips, 4 people in a car. Like, it's not the same. That's not to say that it can't kind of morph back into that.
Dude, it's so crazy, because I was like, how many of those Europe tours we did? Like, I don't know how many exact, but a lot.
Mm-hmm.
But you're out there and you're like, man, I cannot wait to get fucking home. But now that it's all over with, I'd do anything to go back and just, like, you don't realize how great it is until it's over,
A dude that you would go on to spend a good amount of time with, G-Rilla.
Georgie, Georgie, I love Georgie. We'll be seeing Georgie soon, hopefully. But grew up Peabody.
Really?
Yeah, he grew up. He used to go up to Maine. George and I spent a lot of time together, man, on the roads. George is one of the most intellectual, intelligent guys you'll ever talk. Regal loves George.
Yeah.
You can go on a 6-hour road trip with George, and he can hold a conversation just about with any topic. Yeah. And obviously he's showing that now, being on Fox. And I always knew that he was like destined to do something more with his, like, the way he could speak. I'm like, I know he'll do something. Like, he'll go host a sports show or something. But he's still doing it, man. He's killing it doing the Fox News. Like, is that a fly? I feel like, was it Beyond the Mat?
Mm-hmm. Was this chocolate?
Yeah. I kept doing that during the sign-in today. I'm like, fuck, I'm Jake. What is this? What is?
Do you...
Go back to Limit Limit.
There's
fuck is this?
2 with toys. Do you prefer to be called Big Mike or Cowboy?
How did you know about that?
I'm just curious, man. Which one? If you got a...
How'd you get the story? How'd you fucking know about that? Is that on the internet?
Man, I'm just good.
I just
I'm good,
my
man.
Contact out.
I'm good.
Don't call me Big Mike.
Yeah.
Did I tell you that story?
No. I just did some research, man.
Who told you about that?
Maybe a good brother.
I'm not upset that you know. Can we pause for 1 second
For
so
sure.
I can fix
Get
this?
your eye. Yeah.
I don't want to lose
problem.
this contact.
All right. I would now like to ask you about the
Are we back on?
We're back on.
So we just got into a huge fight off camera.
Yeah.
We paused it because I didn't want to tell the story. But then I
Yeah.
go, you know what? I don't work for Titan Sports anymore, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. I'm just kidding. I had to piss.
Yeah. And your contact
My
gimmick.
contact.
Man, tell me about the Keith Walker incident.
You don't want to talk about Big Mike?
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
We can
Yeah.
talk about Big Mike.
Yeah,
man.
give me Big
All
Mike.
right, just real quick. Took a charter from fucking town to town. I don't remember. Sioux City, Iowa. We fly into
Yeah.
Iowa, some
Yeah.
little town. Charter flight, and I drank a lot of whiskey on that flight.
Whiskey.
A lot of whiskey, and the Good Brothers just came into the territory, and Big Al, of course, drove with them, and so it was me, Big Al, and the Good Brothers for a little while, which they probably didn't like, but Gallows took me in,
Yeah.
and so we were driving a few loops together, and me and Gallows got a hair across her ass, so we wanted to go hit the town a little bit,
Yeah.
Sioux City on them for Sunday night, or whatever.
Yeah.
So I left my fucking gear at the FBO on a sidewalk, so we had to go back from the hotel to the FBO to get my gear. We stopped at a casino / gas station, bought a bottle of whiskey, and we found a bar after we got my gear, and there was a gentleman in there. Ask Gallows about this because we're at the hotel, and I'm like,
Yeah.
hold on, I got to change before we go out. And Gallows goes, yeah, he said he had to change. He turned around, took a tank top off, and put another one on. So I took off a tank top, put another one on. I go, all right, I'm ready. Let's go. So we go into this bar, and there's this guy sitting at the bar.
Yeah.
And he's all surly,
Yeah.
and me and Gallows sit down, and I want to get the lay of the land. So I'm
Yeah.
bullshitting,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what are you drinking, cowboy?
Yeah.
And he looks up at me from his drink in sorrow, and he goes, don't call me fucking cowboy. I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah, I'm in a good mood, I thought we were going to have a good time. And I was trying to, I'm not going to get into everything. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, fuck, man. He's like, my name is Mike, and my dog died, and I do concrete, and I don't have show muscles like you pussy. Because I'm wearing a tank top.
Yeah. Yeah.
He called me fake show muscles.
Show muscles. Yeah.
Because he lays he's all covered in concrete and shit.
Yeah.
He's like, my dog died. That's why I'm here. I'm like, well, fuck, Big Mike. He's like, don't call me Big Mike.
Oh, my
I go, all right, cowboy. And he goes, fuck you, motherfucker. I'm like, we're getting into it.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, Gallows breaks it up, and then I go, let me buy you a drink. He goes, all right, brother. And then me and Big Mike just became best friends. And we're drinking and hugging and talking about his dog. He's like, man, she was the best dog you could ever ask for. And we're just having a fun heart to heart. So we drank whiskey all night with this guy. And then we told Big Al the next day. And he's like, man, and we built this place up. It was this dive bar, shithole. They almost stabbed, wrestlers don't let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Hanging from the rafters.
So Al's like, take me to this place before we go to the show. And we're like, all right, we're going to take you to this bar. And
Yeah.
So we took him in there, and it was like this nice little bar, like Applebee's bar. And he's like, this isn't a bad. And we're like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
It was a good
come
story.
on.
I'll tell you this story sometime about me and Gallows getting in a fist fight in San Antonio.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys have to do like a face-to-face. And
if you guys like money high spots, you got to get me and Gallows sitting here trading some war stories.
All right, man. Tell me about the Keith Walker incident, and then what happened because of the Keith Walker incident.
Dude, how do you fucking know all this shit?
Man, I know it, man.
So I'm in Deep South, and
still no deal. Just
no deal ski. Me and Seamus, Melissa Coates, by the way, got hard weighed by Matt Cardona in a practice match. Ask him about that next time you see him.
Yeah.
Fuck. So since October of 06 to spring of 07, there's been Bill has been fired.
Yep.
Doc Bucci introduces the new trainer, Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Yeah.
Training with Dr. Tom.
Yeah.
And Dave Taylor and who else was there? Yeah, and Brad Armstrong.
Yeah.
Which was great. Brad's a fucking man. And John Ace is coming through with Ty Bailey. We're going to do tryout matches and promos. I didn't think I'd have anything to do with it because it was for signed guys. Yep. Doc went out of his way to get me a match. Johnny assumed I was under contract. I remember him getting up in the middle of the match and asking, like, who the fuck is this kid?
Yeah.
I'm wrestling Keith Walker from Chicago. You know Keith?
Yeah. Human Massacre.
Human Massacre. Big dude.
Yeah.
Nice guy. Brother lifts me up in a vertical. Like at these shitty little trunks, which I'm going to tell you a story about in a minute.
Yeah.
Dude, Deep South was the best.
Yeah.
These shitty little trunks that I had, not Adrian Adonis, but
Adrian Street.
Adrian Street made it for me.
Yep.
Like, hey, mate, what do you want on your tights? Like, I don't know, put a fucking lightning bolt on it or something, you know, like, you know, generic. Like, what's your gimmick? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a fucking...
Should have gone with high spots, bro.
Yeah. But, you know, like, you don't know. Like, like, what's your gimmick? You know, whatever. I got a lot of passion. So whatever.
I love the business.
So fucking brother lifts me up in a vertical and just pulls my fucking cash and prizes and chewed gum like right out.
Oh, that's the worst.
And all the girls are like, oh fuck. And I'm just like, fuck, put me down.
Boom. You needed Tommy Young to ref that match. You know why?
And then after the match, Johnny signed me. So. Like, what'd you think of my match? Not bad, kid. Work on your promos. Next time I come through, I'll get you a contract. I'm like, dude, I'm out of money, man. I'm heading home.
Yeah.
I'm working fucking 40 hours a week and training with Bill. He's like,
yeah.
All right, I'll give you a contract. I'm like, fuck. Imagine if I didn't say that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I remember just, dude, they shut Deep South down a week after that. I remember going home and like telling Knox and O'Reilly, and they were just so fucking happy for me, man. And I'm gonna sneeze in a minute. I don't have COVID.
Bless you.
Yeah, they were so stoked for me, man, because they knew how hard I worked. And those tights. Going back to those tights.
Yeah.
Man, we had some good times at with Knox. It was me, Knox, O'Reilly, and Nykirk. And Nykirk didn't really drink that much, but O'Reilly and we were just young kids partying, going to.
It's like wrestling college.
Yeah, it was college, and you got a full house we rented with nothing in it. Just beer bongs and fucking whatever.
Pull out futon.
Yeah, it's just wrestler. It's just wrestling, and it's cool, and it's just wrestling because you have nothing else to worry about. Mm-hmm. Now I worry about like everything else in life. Yeah. But when you're just worrying about one thing and that's all you worry about, like you live it, we just lived wrestling. And, but anyways, Mike, he would, we'd order pizza and he'd put on my little trunks and he's like 100 pounds more than me and he's like 300 pounds. Yeah. And he'd put these handcuffs on and then just the tights. And then when the guy would knock on the door, he'd just be wearing cowboy boots, the little trunks, and the handcuffs, and he'd like kick the front door open, and the kid with the pizzas would be like, "What the fuck?" And he'd like fall out. He'd fall out into the front yard in McDonald's. Be like, "Dude, fucking help me, man! These guys are fucking crazy!" And then Ryan and I would come out and grab him and drag him back in, and the kid would be like, "Oh fuck!" And then drop the pizzas. Yeah. Get in his car and like fucking take off. It's like, what the fuck, dude? But you'd probably get arrested. I don't know. You'd probably get arrested for doing that
now. Man. Okay. So, Dr. Tom, man, did you ever run across Doc when he would go up to the New England area and do camps and stuff?
He did a couple. I didn't go to him.
Okay. So the first time you met him was in Georgia.
There,
yeah. What were your first impressions of the Doctor of Desire?
I liked him, and he liked me right out the gate. And he had a. I always say this about Dusty. When people ask me about Dusty a lot on interviews, and I wish I had the mentality and the maturity that I do now. Like when I was 25, because I was kind of I was kind of a know-it-all punk with a chip on my shoulder.
Not a literal chip.
No, but Doc and Dusty, this is to me what a good coach is knowing how to handle different talents, personalities. So like, if Chris Hero is the type of guy that needs a kick in the ass, Doc could figure that out. But if Johnny Curtis, if you kicked him in the ass, he shuts down.
Yeah.
Because of the way he grew up, maybe he's different than the way you grew up.
Yeah.
Doc had a way of
deciphering,
or just, I guess, being a good people person.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a good people person or observant.
Yeah.
But he knew how to handle different types of personality.
Yeah.
Divas.
No
pun intended. The actual girls.
Yeah.
Sometimes you needed to handle them differently.
Yeah.
A lot of, if you take a bunch of kids and put them in a group day after day, there's going to be a lot of dating, a lot of fighting, a lot of gossiping.
Yeah.
It's like fucking high school.
And they don't learn the same way.
So Doc has a way of, listen, cut the shit. We're here to train. This is my job. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah.
And he had a way of knowing if I can make a talent and get him, whether I like him or not, whether I like you or not, if I can get Chris Hero to the main roster, that gives me a better position in my job.
Yeah.
Instead of just running the class the way I think I need to run it, and if these kids don't get it, then they're not getting it.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. Doc knew that I was kind of I was quieter, more trepidatious. I didn't cut good promos. I was just kind of a nervous kid that hadn't really grown into myself.
Yeah.
And he handled me differently, where if you screamed at me, I'd probably shut down more. Yeah. That was the first thing I noticed, and made me feel kind of comfortable with, like, it's okay, you fucked that up, but let's try it again.
Yeah.
And if you're not petrified to get yelled at, if you're going to mess up, I feel like you can grow a little bit more,
Yeah. Yeah.
So, just overall comfortable. That was my first initial feeling with Doc.
Did you ever have a match with him at practice?
I didn't, no.
No,
Heath,
now that's the legendary.
Heath.
Yeah.
Heath was a Southern boy.
Yeah.
Like Doc. But Heath and I lived together, man, and I remember Doc would go an hour with a bunch of the guys. So we all would have to go an hour. I remember I did 2 hours, one on a Friday and one on a Monday. I wrestled Eric Perez for an hour.
Yeah. Escobar.
And then I wrestled this big 7-foot kid in Titan.
Yeah, yeah. And, I think he was still working in Florida.
He was under contract for a while.
6-7 years ago.
Mike, good dude. It's weird how shit works. If Mike started now, he'd probably be like world champ.
Yeah.
But it's all about the right place, the right time.
Yep.
Transitioning
from Deep South to FCW, like most all your crew came down. You got some people from OVW coming. You got Steve Kern, Norman Smiley, Billy Kidman's helping out. Those first couple months of FCW, what was going through your head? How was everything feeling?
Okay, so they shut down Deep South. Bucci fills up a U-Haul. Everyone go home for a month.
Yeah.
Everybody went home. We fucking got a month off. Everyone went back to West Virginia, to Maine, to Texas, to wherever the hell they were from. Took a month off.
Get a month lease somewhere.
Yeah, they paid for our travel, our moving expenses. So we get down to Tampa, and originally the school, Kern, is going to have it in Brandon, Florida, where I think he owned a Gold's Gym out there.
Okay.
We meet Joe Gomez, who I love to death.
He's the mayor. The mayor of Tampa.
So Joe's going to help broker a deal for a venue. Ty's looking for a building. But in the meantime, they're not going to have it in Brandon. They set the ring up at a batting cage on North Hillsborough called Hitmasters.
Yeah.
So am I out of frame? No, you're good. We got 2 rings set up in a batting cage in North Hillsborough, North Tampa. I got an apartment in Brandon because I thought we were going to be in Brandon, so I'm driving 45 minutes. But Joe has a rental property in Brandon, so all the foreign kids from
Yeah.
England or wherever would stay in Joe's house,
Yeah.
which a lot of talent has stayed in over the years.
Yeah.
So I was in charge. Ty put me in charge of transporting all the foreign wrestlers. So Sheamus,
McIntyre.
I don't think Drew drove with me. He was with Wade.
Yeah.
Hayde Vanson.
Yeah, Hayde.
Tommy Taylor, Chris Gray.
The British Lions or whatever.
Good
Yeah.
guys, all great guys. They actually, we would train at a gym out in Brandon, and they actually taught me a lot of European wrestling. We would go practice on, because Cyborg owned the gym. You ever heard of Cyborg? He used to be a wrestler.
I think so.
Big,
Yeah.
huge guy, but he had wrestling mats because Brandon was a huge wrestling town. So they would, they taught me a lot. They never threw punches, dude. They trained with Sir Jeff K. They never threw punches until they came to FCW. They only threw flippers or forearms.
The lifters.
But they taught me a lot of shit, man, on those mats. A lot of holds and stuff, which is really, really cool. Those guys were really good wrestlers.
You wrestled Robert Anthony
I just talked to Rob.
at the Dallas Bull. Ego
You
Fantastico.
ever heard of the Dallas Bowl?
Brother,
Have
the
you ever been
only time you and I have ever wrestled
We wrestled
was
at,
in the Dallas Bull.
we wrestled at the Dallas
Yes.
Bowl? When?
It was a 4-way. It was
Really?
Seth Rollins, Bo Dallas, you, and me.
Are you
And,
serious?
and this was when Undertaker came in to do an autograph signing. Midian came with him.
Oh, shit. I have no recollection of that.
yeah,
Was it good?
It was okay. I mean, it was a 4-way.
Yeah.
But that was the only time you and I have ever wrestled. There was
Really?
one time we were supposed to wrestle. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
We were at Full Sail.
That's
We
when
were
they
supposed to have
started the dancing gimmick for me,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
They completely took me off everything.
Yeah.
And then,
So you and I had like half of a match called.
And they killed it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
they're
they're
like,
like-
no, we're not doing it. Whatever.
He's going to be a dick dancer now.
Yeah. Well, damn.
You know what happened with that? I know this is way off topic.
Yeah.
Like, I think halfway through that show, Vince said send him to dance school. I remember halfway through that, it was at Full Sail.
Yeah, Full Sail. Yeah.
And Hunter be like, hey, we're going to change some stuff up. We want to send you
Yeah.
to dance school. I'm like, whoa. And I remember they took me off everything because
Yeah.
I was flying out there from
Yeah.
Houston.
Yeah.
But I remember we were supposed to work and they like canned it.
Yep.
And that was the beginning of the whole dick dancing thing. Yeah.
I was
That was
working.
2012, right?
Yes, I was
Yeah.
working with Richie Steamboat, and then I had a match with him earlier in the day, and then I was supposed to have one with you later in the day.
Yeah.
And then I feel like you maybe had one with Bateman earlier in the day, and you were
Trent, I think.
Yeah,
Trent.
something like that. And then
Yeah.
we were both. That was supposed to be our second match.
Yeah.
And then it got pulled, so we only have our one time at the Dallas Bull. Anyway, you worked with Dallas.
WrestleCon.
Yeah.
WrestleCon.
Yeah, we got to get it, man. So you gotta.
Yeah, Rob was good, by the way. Like, I think we had the first ever FCW match.
Yeah,
So that was the first FCW show. Obviously, the new era of
Yeah,
FCW.
of course,
but
of course.
we were the first match on the Dallas Bowl, which was the first show of FCW. Me
Yep.
and Rob. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But Rob is good, man. I was, case in point, if Rob was around 2018, 19,
Yeah.
with the way he could work and his size, definitely be a contender in NXT.
Yeah,
Like,
of
he would
course.
be in the
Of course.
mix.
Yeah.
But just wasn't the time, like, it's just,
So here's one. When Claudio got signed the first time,
I remember that.
Right before he got signed the first time, he went and did a camp
With
at-
Dave.
Yeah. No, this is even after that. He went to have a tryout at Deep South. So it was Claudio, Robert Anthony, and Keith Walker.
I met them all there.
All three of them had the
Heath
tryout.
did too. So Heath had
Yeah.
his tryout with them.
Yep. So Claudio got hired and then was going to go get sent to OVW. And then December 2006, he got a call from Nova and was like, "Hey, the contract is
Why did they
you're being
pull? Do you
released."
know why they pulled it? Or?
There was some bullshit that they thought it was before their medical testing was as diligent as it eventually became, and somebody just made an incorrect call, and he was he was just a statistic. He wasn't like a real human. It was just like, we need this, we don't need that, whatever.
Yeah.
So, so FCW, man, Kofi's down there. You got DiBiase, Hager, Hayde Vanson. You get to work a little bit with Kidman.
Yeah,
that's kinda cool,
TJ
right?
was tagging with Kidman, man.
Yeah.
And I can't believe I don't remember who. We had a really really good match, man. It was me and like Haid, I think, versus. I don't think I've ever had a bad match with TJ, man. Probably one of the best I've ever been in there. But being able to work with Kidman, so like you're only working your buddies that are all your kind of your age.
Yeah.
Then you get in there with Kidman, you're like, oh, I'm not that good.
Yeah.
Like he's on a different. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
it's like when you're in Little League and you're getting 60-mile-per-hour balls, and then you
Yeah.
get called up to Babe Ruth and they're like 75 or whatever. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
we're pretty good, but like Billy's like calling most of the guys are like remember their shit and just kind of do it. Billy's like, all right, duck this, and then like calling shit on the fly, changing shit up on the
not calling shit in the back, and then going out.
Because he's not fucking nervous because we're all so nervous because we only get to wrestle like twice a month.
Yeah.
So we want to have like the best match ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And when you're only thinking about not fucking up, you're not doing your best. So like, we're like, oh, this guy's different. It's like the college dude playing with the high school kids.
Yep,
you know?
yep. Tell me about tell me about your relationship and time spent with Norman Smiley.
I met Norman in the bathroom at FCW when they first opened it.
Yeah.
And we've been really good friends since.
Yeah.
That sounds really fucked up.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the first time I ever talked to him, I remember we just ran each other in the bathroom when he first got there, and he was just like the nicest guy.
Yeah.
And then at that time, Mondo was doing all the mocaps, and Mondo got released, and Ty liked me because I was taking care of all the European kids, driving them.
Yeah.
So I got Mondo's spot where I'd go to mocap every month.
Ah.
And Norman would chaperone us a lot.
Yeah.
So I get to know Norman pretty well.
Yeah.
And we'd go out to LA and do Korean barbecue. And I always tell people like Scott Taylor, Norman Smiley, Brad Armstrong, Dr. Tom I put in there. If you don't like those type of people, you're probably an asshole.
Yeah,
like if you don't,
it's probably you.
or if like Norman doesn't like you, or you don't, like you're probably a prick.
Yeah.
But Norman will text me like Merry Christmas, Happy, like he's that type of guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like a superficial wrestling friend. He's a good guy. He'd be like, hey, if you see Joe or like Jody Malenko or like one of those guys, please tell him I said, like he genuinely is a good human being.
Yeah. Yeah,
and sometimes
he's got a great memory.
Sometimes those good human beings are detriment. It's like a detriment in this business where like they don't have the ability to manipulate or like lie. Yeah. Where sometimes, unfortunately, in the '90s, like to get to a different level, you kind of you know what I'm saying? Like he's such a fucking good dude, man, and such a good wrestler. Like the things he taught us, like he's probably forgot more than I'll ever know, and his patience, which is, it's got to get frustrating to like consistently teach someone something and they keep messing it up. That's probably so easy for him.
Not just on a week to week basis, but I mean, this is 2007.
Yeah.
So here we are 14 years later, and how many hours has he spent on talent that did not pan out and have never wrestled again, and to still have that same desire and drive to help
because
the way he does?
If one out of those 300 become super successful, he's done his job.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
Tell me about the first time you either met or wrestled Greg Jackson.
So, shit, man. Greg first came in I think 08 maybe, and moved in right next to me in Camden, where all the boys.
Was it Camden Bayside?
Camden Bayside.
I lived there too, man.
West Shore.
Yeah.
And I was kind of the king of going out and partying, and Greg was
Soho.
20. Greg was 20, man.
Yeah.
And we hit it off right out the gate. And me, Trent, Cabana at the time. Spears, I hung out a lot. But I'd be like seeing a girl, and I'd be like, yo, because he lived like the apartment next to me. I'd be like,
Yeah.
hey, she'd be wearing like a little short, a little tank top. I'd be like, hey, go knock on that door over there and be like, hey, I'm here for the gangbang. And I'd like I'd hide behind the bush to see. He was a kid. He lived with his fucking mom. Forever.
Sue.
He never lived on his own, so he's this kid who just got signed. So she'd knock on the door, and Greg would come with just like boxers on and a fucking Xbox headset. Hey, what's up? She'd be like, yeah, I'm here for the gangbang. And he'd be like, where's Kurt? He knew it was me. But dude, that motherfucker would be like, practice would be at 9:20. Greg will come in like fucking, Doc, I'm so sorry. Yeah. My alarm, he was up all night playing like Halo. Yeah. And like he's like he's never lived on his own. His alarm, he didn't set his alarm, he passed out. He'd be late for practice all the time. Oh my gosh. And he was just so damn good. Yeah. You couldn't get mad at him. He loved the business and he still does.
Yeah,
so
of course.
But he's just a kid, man. And that was his gimmick, Now that's still a kid, but 30.
Probably, older, but probably the same. Yeah. So FCW got on TV on Bright House, July of 2008. So you guys probably, you went from just working your house shows to like, now we're going to write some TV.
Yeah, I remember Punk came in for that, and Orton, and Cena.
Yep.
It's a pretty big deal for...
How was that different than the TV you were shooting in Deep South? Was it pretty similar, or were there?
Quasi. So Deep South was more like an old studio show. I think they only got like 100 people in there. It was never really a good house.
Yeah.
Lighting was mundane, stale. Entranceway was not that great. It looked like an old 70s studio wrestling show. Mm-hmm. FCW did too, but the entranceway was better, the setup was better, the lighting was better. There was probably 300 people in there. Production was a little bit better. They had a better commentating booth. It wasn't the best, but it was an upgrade.
Yeah.
And Jody's thing was like no over the top rope. It was not a lot of kicks, not a lot of punches, no rear chin locks. It was it wasn't a super exciting show.
Yeah.
Like, I remember TJ would be like, why don't we do some different, it was old school, man. And like if you watch it back, it was very basic. Mm-hmm. FCW definitely pushed it a little bit more, and Dusty, he had different creative ideas.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking shit about Deep South. It just evolved.
It's just different.
It just evolved,
Yeah. And I'm sure they were being asked to do different things and to present things.
I mean, Jody was, he was an older guy who booked, he was around in the 60s and 70s. I mean, he just had a different style than FCW did.
Yeah. Right around that same time, you get brought up to do a main roster loop in Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. You work with Matt Stryker.
Yeah.
What was it like? Finally, I mean, you feel like you've probably been in developmental. It feels like 2 years at this time, or at least how it feels. And then you go up there and you're on the main roster having some matches.
So I remember Deep South, the WWE seemed so far away. It seemed like two different places.
Yeah.
There was a lot of disconnect. It was like its own territory. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like the WWE was far away from this place, this high spots than FCW had a little bit more connection where Johnny and Kurt had a good relationship, unlike probably Jody and Johnny. But so Johnny would be like, who do you think's getting catching on, and who do you think wants to come up and just maybe do a loop, to get a look? And Kern and I have always been really close, and he's always been really supportive of me. So he said, let's try Johnny Curtis. And I knew Teddy was on the road at the time, DiBiase, who was a friend of mine. And I knew who he was driving with Cody and Cena at the time, before Cena had his bus. And I knew John from back in Chaotic, because his brother Matt was there, and John would come train on his off days. I think he was like U.S. champ at the time, in 03 or 02 or whatever. But so I kind of knew John a little bit. I knew his brother a little bit. I knew Teddy pretty well.
Yeah.
I knew Cody a little bit, I guess. But they let me drive with them, and I remember being super nervous because at that time, like now, if you're an NXT and you get called up, you know everybody in the locker room. My first live event was like DX, like Batista, JBL, Cena, Orton. You know, like I'm like, there was like, which one of these guys doesn't fit in? You know, and like Jabroni Johnny Curtis, you know, and then Stryker. So you're walking into a Kane, you know. Cade Murdoch. You know what I'm saying though? Like it's like I was like, holy fuck. And then Charlie Haas, guys like that, Snitsky. So you know, you're going from fucking high school to college real quick. You know. But now you get called up, and like NXT guys are probably more confident than like me and Zack Ryder were when we were on the main roster for 10 years. Because we've been, you know, you've jobbed out for so long. You know, so it's just, it was like more of a sink or swim type of situation back there where you weren't like, you were kind of meant to feel uncomfortable, and if you could make it, then you know, I'm not trying to say like it was harder back then, but
it's just different.
It was just different. Not saying it was better, because now that guys go up, they're more TV ready, I believe, for sure. You know?
Anything come to mind when I tell you the name Lupe Viscara?
Dude, I was around that kid for like 2 or 3 years. I don't think I've ever had like I don't think we ever said more than 2 words to each other.
What language did you speak in?
He speak in his own language.
Yeah.
Did you ever meet him?
No, I've just heard. I heard that they thought he spoke Spanish, and then it turns out he didn't speak Spanish, and then they were like,
dude,
wait.
You want to hear Lupe's story,
Yes,
bro?
please.
All right. So you talked, this is how a conversation would go. You'd be like, yo, Lupe, what's up, man? How was your weekend? He'd be like, yes, I'm on. What's it? Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, cool, bro. I just didn't think he spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
So Dusty's like, oh, he doesn't speak English. Be like, Lupe, baby, just, you know, if you feel more comfortable, just speak in your native tongue. So Lupe's like, I don't speak Spanish. He just doesn't speak.
Yeah.
So anyways, me and Lupe are working a match, and he kind of had some fucked up front teeth, right? Like he had some gnarly teeth.
Yeah.
And I remember like duck or something, and something got fucked up, and I just drop kicked his teeth out, his front teeth.
Oh man.
And he comes up, dude. And, he's like, his teeth are all fucked up, and he's like bleeding. Yeah. He's like, he says teeth is his head. He's like trying to say something to me. He's like, you messed my teeth out, man. Bro, but he went and got all brand new veneers out of that on Pomco. I'm like, bro.
Pomco, there you go.
Like, bro,
you're welcome, man.
Like, don't be fucking mad at me. You had a fucked up girl, bro. Now you got beautiful teeth. And he ended up dating like the supermodel chick. And he couldn't formulate. Dude, I remember being at like the casino, and Lupe's there with like this supermodel, and he can't talk. I'm like, I'm like, what? Good for you, Lupe, bro.
Yeah.
But I remember he'd be like, yo, Lupe, what's up? Yeah.
Man, you don't have to go too long into this, but is there a singular Alfred story that you'd like to?
I'll tell you a quick Alfred story, man.
Perfect. That's great.
You and I have been around the business. At this time, 2008, I've been in the business almost 10 years. I grew up in it. I know the carniness of it.
Yeah.
I never trusted anybody that just wanted to be around the boys. And wasn't a promoter or...
Yeah.
I know he was kind of around Barry Windham a lot, and I know I was close with the Rotundos, and they're like, this Alfred guy's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Because he was like, drove Barry around and shit back in the day. And obviously Wyndham and Taylor and Mike, I knew. And Wyndham and I started together with Bo, and we were all kids coming up together.
Yeah.
This guy's a little weird.
Yeah.
And Kern obviously liked him because he would book the towns and help him out financially or whatever.
Get the posters.
Yeah, so
like
he did a lot of work for FCW, but he was just really weird with a few of the guys. And I'm not book smart, man, but we grew up around. I grew up around people, you know, and being a carny, like you know how to play people, and you know how to talk to people, and you know how to. I'm a good people person. I always got this weird vibe from this cat, and I never really. He wanted to be like one. He wanted me to be one of his guys, like Lucky Cannon and a few of the other boys were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck this dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna fall for this shit.
Yeah.
So then he didn't like me at all.
Yep.
So he starts this new thing called Street Team, where you got to get up at like 9 a.m. on a fucking Sunday and go paper a town. And like, Kurt's like, I know you don't want to do it, but we got to build these towns. Rightfully so.
Yeah.
So all the younger boys would do it.
Yeah.
And some of us older guys wouldn't have to do it.
Yeah.
So fucking Alfred puts me on the first ever street team
Of
in
course.
Punta Gorda at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. And he knows that I drink whiskey on Saturday nights.
Yeah, of course.
So I go out and do my thing on a Saturday night, like
Yeah.
I always do. Supposed to be in Punta Gorda at like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
It's like fucking 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I just didn't go. I was like,
Yeah.
fucking, I'm not going. Like I've been wrestling for 10 years. There's like 25 football guys on the roster. You're gonna ask me to go? Not.
Also, $1 billion company, by the way. Let's get.
I just came off the road doing
Yeah.
dark matches, and
Yeah.
he's just fucking with me, just to
Yeah.
fuck with me.
Yeah.
And he knows that I go out and drink whiskey on a Saturday, so I didn't show up. So we get to practice Monday, and Kern's like, "I heard you guys had a good street team. Johnny Curtis decided not to show up, so he'll be the first one ever to be fined here in FCW. Johnny, come see me after practice." I'm like, all right, fuck, whatever. So I get in the office. He goes, "Listen. Don't fucking give me money, but don't tell anybody you didn't give me money. Just help Alfred post to the town." He just had to pretend like he was a BF.
Of course, yeah.
So I go fucking post to the town with Alfred, and
Oh.
I never trusted him. Come to find out, he ended up fucking a bunch of people over, man. He's a real
Yeah.
carny bastard.
Yeah.
He screwed my business partner Gomez out of some money.
Yeah.
And I don't really care, whatever,
Yeah.
but it just when you have a gut feeling about this
Yeah.
business, and he could pull the wool over some people's eyes, but in the long run, if you think someone's kind of weird, and there's a lot of weird people around this business, sometimes they just want to hang out for some ulterior motives, you know, like...
He was never out and out a dick to me for anything, but I just thought it was so weird that, you know, everybody had an Alfred impression. Everybody kind of joked around about
no one
him,
knew
right?
his last name. We called him Alfred Simpson.
Simpson, Alfred Simpson. But
that wasn't even his last name.
there,
He made his Facebook page Alfred Simpson, and that wasn't even his last name.
I mean, there's something shady going on there. But whenever you would be around him, he would say something that would make you feel uncomfortable, or just really crude sense
Okay,
of
so
humor.
we do a show in
not my
we do a
kind
show up in Crystal River where FIP used to run. It was a good show.
man.
It's me. I was dating a girl at the time, and like 10 of the boys at an Applebee's or Chili's across from that.
Right there.
Right
It's
there.
right there, yeah. Applebee's.
Alfred like whips his ass out and puts it all over the window in front of everybody, and like it's just really gross and grimy.
Yeah.
And I remember my girl just thinking how dirty the wrestling business was. And I'm like,
man.
I could get into some deep shit
Yeah.
about that,
But
it's not going to do any good for me, and it's not going to do any good for him, and we'll just leave it at he's a creep.
He called Shandoff.
Shandoff. Yeah.
I don't know if he couldn't pronounce it or what. Here's something I thought was cool. January 2010, you do another travel loop. You go up and you wrestle Evan Bourne in Boston at the TV
Dude, you know what's so
Garden.
cool is I remember TJ was on the road at that time. He's like, "Hey, bro." I remember Brett came back at that time. Remember when Brett came back? And
ready
TJ was
for
doing
Mania.
the gimmick, and he's like, "Hey, bro, I saw your list on the live events." I'm like, "Oh shit, really? Oh, they're bringing me back up on the road again." And I was just on a loop with Seidel a couple weeks ago. We did the loop together in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Bro, do you know like 11 years ago, one of my first or third loops or whatever was with you, and we worked in Boston in my hometown." He's like, "Nope." I'm like, yeah. So it was cool, like full circle that Seidel and I got to hang out again. But yeah, they flew me up to Boston and got to work him there and still live event.
Did you get to have anybody come to the show that you knew or anything?
I assume my dad was probably there.
Yeah.
It was weird at that time. Vince was doing large markets and then charter to smaller markets.
So you did Nebraska and Minnesota the same weekend.
So
It's like,
that
ugh.
was his thing. He always wanted. It was weird. So it was kind of like the old '80s. Remember how they would do a big market and then fly? So say TV was in Wisconsin, he would start the live event loop in a big market, charter you to smaller venues, and then end up TV here. So it was a lot of traveling, and I loved it though. I mean, to get out of FCW for a while. But Bourne was great, man. He was cool.
Yeah.
And I remember Hunter and Sean were on those loops, and like Hunter pulling me aside and like putting me over and like helping me out.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, when he does the moonsault and you catch him and give him the backbreaker, do it as a false finish. And I remember someone like pulling me, Santino be like, dude, Hunter and Sean were putting you over huge when you were in the ring, and that was cool to hear though.
Yeah.
Because I was always a fan of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. And in your, home arena, it doesn't get bigger than that,
it's pretty
right?
cool, man.
Yeah.
It's
And
cool.
then with Bourne, somebody that you can literally do anything
he's just a
with.
cool dude.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't like fighting over like he needed.
Yeah.
It's
got to look strong.
Yeah.
You worked with Burchell a couple house shows.
Yeah.
Kind of a
Dude,
funny
he's a
one.
fucking great worker, man.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's not still in the business?
No.
Yeah.
I think he became a fireman or a paramedic of some sort. Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah.
Big guy.
Yeah. Very athletic guy.
Yeah.
You had an ECW dark against Kung Fu Naki.
So you know what's funny, dude, is back at those ECW shows, you would do a dark in between ECW and what was it, Raw or SmackDown?
SmackDown, something.
So they do ECW film. They'd come out through a cage on the side ramp. There'd be a different entrance. Remember how they came through like some? Maybe they changed it to the Tron at that time.
Yeah.
But back then, you'd go out and Johnny would send someone else out different. So you'd be calling your match with like Snitsky all day or Armando Estrada. And that was like Johnny's big thing. Send out a different guy. So like Charlie would know or whoever. I'm like, fuck, dude, you didn't smart me up. Like, but like I can have a generic match on the fly. I mean, it doesn't, whatever, if you want, that's what you want, but it was kind of cool because you just call a match on the fly in front of a bunch of people. Yeah. It's easier to do that than try to remember a bunch of shit, really, but.
I remember one time at FCW in Largo, we did a mystery show.
Yeah, we
where it's
used to
like
do those all the
they
time.
knew what the main event was, but like everybody just had to be in gorilla in gear, and then they'd play music and play music. And you have to have a match. Some really bad matches, and like I think maybe somebody got hurt, and then they were
stop
like,
it. Well, that's
anymore.
you know what? That's a good thing to do with some guys that are experienced, but you can't really put green guys out there because they're going to get nervous.
Yeah.
It's not practice matches.
Yeah.
They're going to start freaking out in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
On the fly. And
You got to have one of each. You got to have a green guy and then a guy that knows his shit.
I remember doing Dark with Regal, and he just comes up to me and he's like, John, I'm not feeling the best today. If you just want to think of a finish, and let me know before we go out. Yeah. And we went out and had a great match. I said, just move on the leg drop and give me your hold. And he's like, that's fine.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't stressed all day trying to remember a match.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool because like you're not worried about fucking the spots up because you don't have any spots to remember. Yeah. So you just go out and listen to them, And I remember we had a good match, and Noble was like, "That was a really good match." And I'm like, "Yeah." Just listen to Darren, and I think we need to do a little bit more of that, Yeah. That's one thing I've noticed coming back to the Indies is these guys. It's like guys that haven't worked each other ever are calling these super intricate spots like 20 minutes before they go out there. And I'm like...
And they don't know if they have the chemistry.
Yeah, and I'm in some of these six-mans or whatever, and I'm like, they're cool spots. They're calling really cool shit. Yeah. But like their timing's off and stuff's getting like... They're too intricate like to try on the fly with someone you'd never... Like, you need to work with someone a bunch to be doing intricate spots like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
it's the people that they are imitating and doing that, they don't have the context of like, oh, these guys have done this 1,000 times. Yeah. So you watch the Young Bucks and you're like, they know their shit.
Eddie and Ray, Malenko, Sikos, like they work each other all the time. Yeah. Like like Breeze and I work Heath and Rhino a million times. Like
Yeah.
we can just call it and go do
Yeah.
it. But if I don't really know someone, I don't want to call some shit that's gonna go awry out there.
Yeah.
You gotta,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But that's the cool thing about like Regal is, you could just you don't have to call a lot.
Yeah.
That way
Yeah.
no one gets hurt. You know.
Yeah. Who came up with the name the Johnny Kick?
I think Todd Grisham.
Yeah.
I think Todd Grisham. Look it up. I could be
Yeah.
wrong, but he was doing play-by-play
Yeah.
in FCW. I think.
Yeah.
Was it Todd or who's the kid in TNA now doing?
Josh Matthews.
Might have been Josh.
Yeah.
One of those guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I skipped through
Because
some.
Stevie Kick.
Yeah,
Stole from
yeah.
Stevie.
Johnny Kick.
Yeah, Stevie Kick.
Yeah.
I
You
think
won
Todd
quite a.
Grisham. I
yeah.
could be wrong. Someone could correct me.
You won quite a few matches with the Johnny Kick.
Yeah. Which is weird because I throw a shitty super kick now. I don't know what it is. Like we threw a 4-way one last weekend. On this
Oh
one.
yeah. I saw.
I
it.
just
saw it.
fucking killed this kid. He's a deathmatch guy. I'm like, fuck, I forgot how to wrestle, dude. I'm sorry, bro. Like, shit.
Yeah, but you didn't have to tell him though, because it's coming from 4 angles. So
Fuck. You know what it
it
is? Usually, I guess when you take just one, you kind of do this.
Yeah.
He couldn't move his head at all. So
Yeah.
I'm used to like someone like kind of
Yeah.
going, you know. So maybe
Yeah.
it wasn't completely my fault.
Maybe he got kicked into you.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Who knows, man?
I'm like, fuck. And then I look at him. He's got Sabu scars all over him. I'm like,
Oh.
I think he's okay.
I think he's all right.
Yeah.
I think he's all right.
He was like, fucking, am I out of the picture? He was pretty hard weight up,
Yeah.
but he's a nice guy. Sorry, dude.
Who did you prefer more? Black Pain or Sweet Poppy?
Take this guy named Sweet Poppy, okay? Oh, no. Take this guy named Black Pain, right? Yeah, not really getting over. People don't get the gimmick. He's Puerto Rico, 6'8", big guy, cool look, just not getting over. I take him. He comes out. He has a bowl of candy. He gives the candy to the kids. They're laughing. They're smiling. Everyone's happy. I'm a fucking genius. That's what Johnny says, promo for Sweet. If it doesn't work, I'll just turn him back into Black Pain. It didn't work, and he got fired.
Sweet
Dude,
Poppy
I love where I was
Sanchez.
talking about.
Yeah.
I forget his real name.
Yeah.
Dude, he had this cool ass gimmick.
Yeah.
Wore a mask. I forget his real name. Jose.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see him in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Carlito. I just drove with Carlito. But,
Yeah.
he was really good friends with the Colones. But hopefully he's still working down in Puerto
Yeah.
Rico.
Yeah.
6'8", wore a hood, make like cool fucking
Yeah.
look.
Yeah.
We spit out like black Muda shit.
Yeah.
And Kern freaked the fuck out because he got black shit on his mat.
canvas,
So he's
yeah.
like, no more of the black shit. So he killed the gimmick and
Yeah.
turned him into the Candyman.
Yeah.
Because Johnny Ace, he liked the Candyman gimmick.
Yeah.
And people it's fucking 2010 or whatever. They're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
They shit all over it. But they were actually going to call Black
Yeah.
Pain up with Hade Vanson to work like a group against Undertaker.
The Undertaker. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know he was a part of that with
Yeah,
Hade.
yeah. Black Pain, Hade. Hade actually cut a couple promos for TV, and then
How awesome promos.
Vince is like, this guy's working Taker, and they just killed it.
Yeah.
But Hade could cut a promo.
Yeah, I worked with him at the camps in England.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sweet
Sweet Poppy.
He lived at the Cove off West Shore.
Oh, I also lived at the Cove. Yeah.
Like, Poppy, you got a gym over there at the Cove? So, oh yeah, baby, it's a beautiful gym. He talked like real soft, like Dusty, but Puerto Rican accent.
Yeah.
It was a really nice gym. Yeah. Beautiful gym. And I asked Primo, I'm like, what's up with the Cove gym? You got a nice gym over there? He's like, fuck no. It's a medicine ball in there and like an old bike. So that's where Poppy said he worked out, because Doc was always getting on him about working out because the office is like, get him in shape.
Yeah.
He's like, no. I train at the Cove gym. And it was just like a ball and like a jump rope or something.
Yeah. Beautiful.
He was a good little worker, though.
Cove had a hell of a pool. I thought their pool was
Right on
awesome
the
at
ocean.
Cove.
Yeah, it was nice.
Look good. You do some tags with Rex.
Yeah.
You do some tags with Bateman. Like
I think we won the tag straps. Me
Yep.
and Rex. And then me and Bateman won them, too.
Yep.
Gabe got called up to ECW.
Yeah.
I stayed. I had a little bit of an attitude problem, which didn't really help me out a lot,
Yeah.
And they started doing the NXT shit. I won't jump on. I won't step on your toes. But then Bateman and I started tagging.
Yeah.
I think we won the tag straps too.
Yep.
That's when I started cutting better promos with Bateman.
Yeah.
So he was a good promo guy. I was a good wrestler.
Yeah.
That was always one of my knocks. I didn't have a personality. Which is funny because I made all my money off being a personality. Kind of like Norman Smiley.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he never had a personality, just a good wrestler. He made
the
all his money off. That was always
Yeah.
my knock. He's like such a good worker, but he's got no personality.
Yeah.
And then when I started tagging with Bateman, we had Promo Day. Remember Promo Day?
Oh, of course.
But Mike is such a good promo guy.
Yeah.
So that's when I started, stopped trying so hard to cut a good promo and just kind of naturally be myself.
Yep.
So that's when the promos started coming along a little bit, when Mike and I started tagging, loosening up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But then funny, my whole career was just a gimmick.
A gimmick, yeah.
You know, so it's funny how that
Well, you
works.
figured it out.
Yeah.
Figured
So
it out.
I'm the honky-tonk man of our generation.
Yeah. Okay, man. This is another one where you don't have to tell a billion stories, but you got to take part in the legendary promo classes of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Yep. What do you remember about spending all that time with him? Anything particularly funny? I saw some awesome promos, and I saw some of the worst promos ever, and then I just got to hear Dusty hold court for hours at a time.
When I think of promo class, I think of Dusty coming out of that little room. There's a little booth,
little
there's
production
studio
room.
Production room. Dusty would watch it instead of watching it live, he'd watch it on the monitor to get a feel for what it'd be like on TV. All right, cut. And then it'd be like if you're watching the World Series right now, which I don't know when this is coming out, but it's like your pitching coach walking slowly to let you calm down, to let the adrenaline wear off and think about what the fuck you just said from that walk to the ring.
Yeah.
And Dusty walks slow with his dip in his back pocket.
Yep.
Duct tape his golden silence. Remember that shirt he had or whatever the fuck it was? And he put his hand in front of his face like a pitching coach. Listen, baby, you can't fuck this up. You can't fuck this up. Now just relax. You know, he talk to you. But he had a knack for seeing something in people. You know, like Breeze, for instance. You know, I think Breeze was like on his way out of the company, then just shot like this one promo one day, and with the Tyler Breeze gimmick.
Yeah.
I think we got something there, and he was a big supporter in me and had more confidence in me as a young kid than I did in myself. And one of the regrets I do have in the business is kind of the attitude that I gave Dusty, man. And I was kind of a young punk kid, and, you know, not punk, but I had an attitude at times, you know, and it shouldn't have been directed towards him or anybody. It should have been directed towards myself, because it's easy to point the finger at everybody else while you're not getting called up.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the shit you got to learn on your own, I guess, you know. And I wish I got to have this conversation with him as a man, you know, not like a 26-year-old kid, but he believed in me more than I believed in myself, and a lot of things that I thought maybe he was like, what the fuck, you know, he was actually going out of his way to protect me. And like, if they're like, we don't have anything for Johnny Curtis, let's get rid of him, but we can't because Dusty just put the tag straps on him with Derek Bateman. So he would like protect me in ways that I thought, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just promo class, man, was nerve-wracking for a lot of people, because dude, it's fucking hard to do stand-up comedy and get a reaction, but it's hard to do stand-up comedy in front of a room full of comedians. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know about you, but I get way more nervous, like, if you and I had to wrestle right now in front of fucking 300 wrestlers, that'd be way worse than 300 kids.
Yeah.
So, like, I could go on those shitty indie shows and go out and yell at kids and cut a promo and be like, this town sucks, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But to, like, go out without a character, so it's easy to pretend, to cut a promo like Fandango and pretend you're someone else. It's easier to pretend to be someone else, but if you don't have a character, which was my knock, it's so hard to just, all right, I'm Curtis Huss, you know, like, just to be yourself and cut a promo, because it's easier to fuck up as someone else than to be yourself.
And it's also more attached to your legitimate identity, and then those knocks that you have aren't just knocks against your character.
Promo class is one of the hardest fucking things to do because you're not in an angle. It's a generic promo. It'd be like, all right, Hero jumped you on last week's TV. I know you want to keep going on, but like, if there's an angle, you jump me on TV.
Yeah.
Last week, I could go cut a promo, like a minute promo. Like, dude, you fucking jumped me on TV. You know, it's not gonna be the last time you see me. We'll see each other next week on TV. Fucking, you know. But if it's like, just go cut a promo about yourself. Think about 7 years or 6 years of cutting a promo about yourself.
Yeah.
Like, what can you possibly keep saying about yourself?
Yeah.
You know?
It's tough.
Eventually, and this didn't help me, and you wonder why I didn't get called up. I remember Mike Rotundo pulling me aside. The writers would come.
Yeah.
Bro, I would grab the mic, be like, I don't have a lot left to say. If you guys don't want to call me up, just fire me. And then Mike would be like, hey man, maybe don't do that. But Vince
hell of a character you got there, kid.
But like, what else could I say? You know?
Yeah.
And I remember Vince like knew I had an attitude and ribbed me and shit and did the promos with me, but like never would fire me. I don't know. I think he kind of liked it. I don't know. He kind of likes people with that attitude. Maybe I don't know.
Damn.
But then I got fired anyway.
And also, your audience, aside from people that are going to make decisions about your career, there are other people that have to cut promos that are thinking about the promos they have to cut. And then also there's just that competitive nature of like not wanting to put people over, you know. Like, it's just an awkward atmosphere.
It's just awkward, uncomfortable all around. Even Ric Flair or fucking John Cena eventually would be, you know, like, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like doing matches during the day at TV.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just uncomfortable.
Oh,
it's an uncomfortable, shitty situation.
Yeah, cold match in a warehouse. Ugh. February 2010, ECW's gone.
I'm going to cut you off. Go back to the promos 1 second.
Yeah, please.
Kid comes in from Mexico. His dad was a big famous wrestler. Cut like generic promos. I'm not a Mexican. I'm a Mexican, whatever. Can. They call him up to Alberto Del Rio. Cut the best fucking promos on TV. So like he had something to do. Like he had a character.
Yeah.
He was just a generic guy from Mexico that his promos weren't even.
Yeah.
They were just like, ugh.
Yeah.
But now he has something like Fandango.
You're the $1 million man.
All right.
Yeah.
We want you to talk like this. They don't pronounce your name correctly. Now you got an idea. Like you have a character. I mean, that's on like people for not thinking of that or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if they give you something to work with, it's just, you're good at sports, like all of them. We'll call you Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
Or like, oh man, I hate fucking accountants in the IRS and tax day.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna be IRS.
Yeah.
You know, like now you kind of have something to work with.
Yeah.
But just a generic promo every week. You know.
Yeah, it gets tedious.
Yeah.
And then also, the first time that you really sit there and come up with something to cut to this whatever, and then you like throw it all out there, and it's like, okay, cool, do something else.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh my god, that's like a comedy troupe that has been together for a decade. They finally get a TV show. That first season is going to be awesome because all their stuff is in those first season. And then they're like, well, we might get canceled after one season. And then it's like, all right, you got a second season. And now they're like, oh my God, we got to come up with another material. And then it's like, after a while, you run out of material. You get dejected because of your things aren't being picked up.
Promos aren't promos now.
Yeah.
The best promo people aren't promo people on TV. They're good at remembering lines.
Yeah.
Promos are like interacting, and like Dusty's sitting in the stands and just cutting this cool promo. Like he didn't remember all that. He spit that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Promos now are written out, and if you don't say exactly line for line, you're gonna get yelled at.
Yeah.
Like I'm shot and didn't graduate high school. I can't remember a fucking 4-page promo. But you and I, if you put a camera in front of us, we can go back and forth, and I can call shit on the fly. Like that to me is a promo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like Austin never can remember shit, right? Like that's what I heard. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a great promo guy, but I think there's different ways to go about it.
Yeah.
It's just the business has changed so much now
Yeah.
that you can't trust all your talent to go out there and just create shit in a
Yeah.
corporate world that we live in.
Yeah.
Because if someone goes out there and just says some stupid shit,
Abraham Washington.
Do you know what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
It's just the business has changed, and it's
Yeah.
just a different world we live in.
Yeah. There's some people though that are better on the fly, and then there's some people that are better with memorization.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
It's just the same way with matches. Better. Some people are better at
Yep.
calling on the fly. Some are better at programming every little detail. So just giving one catch-all style of matches or promos for an entire roster is just no good.
No.
Yeah. So NXT, the first season of NXT starts. What were you thinking when you saw the first season of NXT and you saw how it was going?
Who was on the Heath,
Wade,
Wade,
Gabriel, Daniel Bryan, Otunga, Tarver, Darren Young.
I was kind of glad that I wasn't doing it
Yeah.
because I remember even Regal saying this. He's like, you could take the best wrestlers on the roster right now and put them in those situations, and they're it's meant for you to fail.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter what. I mean, all it is just to see your personality, I think, and
Yeah.
to see these guys are willing to play ball, take you out of your comfort zone. I was kind of excited that I wasn't going to do it. Not that I thought that I was better than that, but they already knew that first season they had plans for those guys to do that angle.
Yeah.
I think. I could be wrong, but I think Brian got fired, didn't he? Like halfway through that or something?
Once the angle started, he choked Justin Roberts.
Yeah.
And
I don't
got
know.
fired.
Did they have the idea for Nexus starting that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
But
don't know.
the cockiness inside of me, the ego, probably thought I think I got something bigger coming along.
Mm-hmm.
But probably just my attitude kept me down there, you
Yeah.
know. And then I remember the second season, Henning's like, I don't know, dude. What the fuck?
Alex Riley, Hennig,
Cottonwood, low key.
Kaval.
And then the third season, I remember it was all girls and then
yeah.
Ty Bailey calling the SCW office and be like, "What are we going to tell Johnny Curtis?"
Yeah.
And that's when Kern asked me if I want to start producing down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm never going to get called up.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
But it's weird. I mean, so look at it this way. Like, I remember getting upset that I wasn't one of the guys in ECW that got called up. The Ryan Braddock, the Spears,
Yeah.
Kazarni,
Trent.
Trent. I'm like, fuck, man, they didn't call me up.
Yeah.
But if I did get called up then, I would have been fired. If I got called up in NXT Season 2, I probably wouldn't have done that much.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, everything kind of works out the way it's supposed to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. So how far ahead did you know you were going to be on season 4 of NXT? How much notice did you have?
I think right before the finale of the season 3.
Yeah.
I think we started shooting promos.
So it was you, Brodus Clay, Saxton, Jacob Novak, Bateman,
Ryan O'Reilly,
yep, Conor
Georgie,
O'Brien, yeah,
Georgie, Brodus.
Yep.
Did you say Brodus?
Mm-hmm.
Good group of guys besides
Yeah.
Novak, man. He's a good kid.
Yeah. Lucky Cannon.
He was
Right?
in season 2.
Oh, you're season 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You want to hear a quick Lucky Cannon?
I'd love to. Johnny Prime.
So I always had it.
Yeah.
I always knew that kid didn't give a shit about the business.
Yeah. He was an Alfred guy.
Alfred guy,
Yeah.
right out the gate. He wasn't one of the boys, man. I remember he went to Heath's like wedding party and like grabbed this girl and shit. Like you just do fucked up shit like that all the
Yeah.
time. I'm gonna try to put the boots to him, but fuck it, I don't care. Whatever. I was one when the FCW title. It meant a lot to me. Dusty never put it on me, but he put it on Lucky Cannon. I was hot. Dusty's like, I need a good baby face to run it with Lucky, you know. And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
So they did the fake ass. Whenever you come back, everyone clapped like you just really won the World Series, but
Yeah.
someone put the title on you.
Congratulations. It was somebody's choice.
And it's a
to
bunch
do
of
this,
young
yeah.
kids that don't know anything about, like
Yeah.
a bunch of football guys that don't know shit about wrestling. Like, fuck
This
yeah,
is it,
man.
yeah.
And
Grab that.
hey, everyone in the bathroom. So everyone hid in the bathroom. So he came back, And there's like 30 dudes in the bathroom. The girls were hiding in theirs.
Yeah.
And just an empty FCW.
Yeah, yeah.
And no one clapped.
Yeah.
So next 2 weeks later on TV, Dusty made the whole roster go out in the alley on the entranceway. And I just looked in the camera and did this.
Oh, Dave Taylor.
Yeah. And walked to the back. And yeah, I shouldn't have challenged Dusty like that, but that had to have been done.
Yeah.
It had to have been done. Kid,
Yeah.
But he left the business.
He's gone. Yeah.
So don't tell me how much you love wrestling, man, and then never fucking lace him up at the end.
He
So I
loved
see
it,
Rick do
brother.
that shit.
Here's a fun little detail between you and I. Your first NXT match was against the aforementioned Novak, but it was at the Nutter Center in Dayton, Ohio.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm from Dayton, Ohio,
He
brother.
waved 98.
Yeah.
No, that was O'Hara.
O'Hara Arena.
O'Hara, I'm sorry.
Nutter Center was King of the Ring. It was Bret Hart winning King of the Ring.
Shit, yeah.
I was there as a 12, 13-year-old.
Dude, I remember that. This was around like 2011 maybe? Mm-hmm. And that whole hard cam side was just empty.
Empty, yeah.
It was weird. I remember like trying to work towards hard, just dead empty. And yeah. Novak.
When you had
I got
your...
in a fist fight with Novak once.
Yeah.
You want to hear about it? Or
Yeah,
not?
let's hear about it, man.
Fuck. All right. So
He's another one gone.
Yeah.
Who told him it was a good idea to wear a suit coat just on a baby oil body?
So
Big
I don't
white
know,
suit
bro.
coat. Come on.
I was drinking whiskey one night in Tampa. That's how a lot of these stories start. But so we're out in the fucking drinking. I'm drinking whiskey. We're out, me and a few of the boys. Someone pisses in a cup and gives it to Novak, and he's bouncing. He bounced at McDiddon's or something before he got signed, so he knew all the bouncers there.
Yeah.
And he drinks like some piss, whatever. He gets hot, and
Whatever.
and like tries to fight the boys with the bouncers, and he's one of the boys.
Yeah.
What the fuck, dude? So you drank a little piss. Don't try to fight the boys with the bouncers. Like he teamed up with the bouncers and tried to fight me and a few of the boys.
Which could cause...
But he was
legal
signed with us.
Yeah.
He was like on the road with us and shit. He was on NXT with us.
Yeah.
Like, bro, someone ribbed you. Fucking drank a little piss. Whatever. Don't try to fight the boys and team up with those guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, I go back to one of the boys' house. I'm not gonna say who it was.
Yeah.
We're just chilling, Camden, and all of a sudden someone's banging on the fucking sliding glass door. I'm like, what the fuck? I was smoking a cigarette. I don't know why. I don't even smoke, but it's Novak out there.
Yeah.
And he's looking for a fight. I'm like, what the fuck? So the guy I was with, one of the boys, I'm not gonna say his name, was the one that peed in his cup.
Yeah.
He was coming to fight brother. So I went out and tuned him up a little bit and put a cigarette out on his face. And the next day we had a show in Kissimmee.
Oh, man.
And he gets there and he's all tuned up. And Dr. Tom pulls me aside. He's like, and like Novak's over there. He's like, Novak told me you beat the shit out of him. I'm just telling you right now that I'm acting really mad at you. And I have to punish you in front of him. If not, I'm going to get in trouble. But that's really funny shit. Have a good show. I'm like, all right. He went and stooged me off the fucking dock.
Of course he did.
So what happens? We go on the road for NXT. They put me room with Novak every night. And then I apologize. I'm like, dude, listen, I was drinking. And he's like, he's a good kid. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so he gets eliminated first and I'm rooming with him?
Yeah.
I'm like, this sucks. Like, I should have got my own room.
Yeah.
It's just awkward.
Yeah.
We don't like each other. He doesn't like me. He's like, so I'm like rolled over in my bed. I hear someone like, he's just like sitting on his bed, like looking at me. He's a really weird guy. Eating a hamburger from McDonald's.
Yeah.
In his boxers. I like roll over. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? He's like, what am I going to do with my life now? I'm like, I don't know, man. I just rolled over. I've never seen him since. Bro, he's just sitting there in his boxers eating a hamburger, like looking at me. He's like, what am I going to do now? I don't know, man. Maybe do a rap gimmick with Ray Gordy.
Yeah. Shit. Oh, man. When you had your explosion match against 3 Live Crew, you looked across the ring and you saw Ronnie Killings. Did you think one day he would be your mentor on NXT?
But I remember he was cool as shit when I met him.
Yeah.
And he looks exactly the same right now.
Yeah. Hasn't aged.
What a good dude.
Yeah.
You remember nice people, man. I remember Ronnie was really nice to us.
Yep.
We were like the bottom of the barrel talent, like just
Yeah.
jabronis, and he's like, "What's up, guys? You good?
Yeah.
You know, what
Yeah.
do you want to do?" Just
Yeah.
if Ronnie's one of those guys, if you don't like Ronnie, you're
Yeah.
probably a dickhead.
Your top rope leg drop, ambidextrous, right? You can
Yeah.
go right, you can go left.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bobby
'Cause-
Eaton, man, I love that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I love Bobby Eaton.
I just would see in some matches where it's like, well, they're on this side. Let's see if you hit them with lefty.
Because most of the time, not most of the time, but a lot of time, motherfuckers go the wrong way.
Yeah.
After you tell them, hey, head, legs towards the ropes, they fucking freak out and go this way, especially in developmental.
Which ropes?
Yeah. But I used to do it when we do tags.
Yeah.
I'd hit it with both.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, they had you doing all kinds of shit. You did karaoke, obstacle course, wheelbarrow race. You got to outthink the Fink, which that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Do a little thing with Howard Finkel. So, when did you find out you were winning the damn thing over Brodus?
I never knew until the last minute.
They
We all thought
played it on
Bateman
the
was
Tron.
going to go over. He was
Yeah.
like,
he had the thing with Daniel Bryan, right? They had some.
he was
funny,
over, yeah.
They
Like,
had some funny skits.
But I think, Johnny, it was a thank you from Johnny for
Yeah.
developmental. It was obviously all work. They had an
Yeah.
idea for Brodus already to go with Del Rio.
Yep.
I don't know if they had anything for Mike Bateman, but it was a shoot thing in the ring.
Yeah.
We all thought Bateman was going to go over. It was
Yeah.
me and Georgie at the end,
Yeah.
and we had some good matches. Me and Georgie, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, listen, dude, this is kind of like either going to make or break us. So let's just let's just beat the fuck out of each other,
Yeah.
like really lay it in, and it was good. I mean,
Yeah.
Then I never did shit after that.
Yeah. You were in the Battle Royal Mania 27 in Atlanta.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was dating one of the divas at the time, and I just went to Mania and Chrono. We had like a meeting, and they're like, Johnny Curtis is in the Battle Royal. Sorry. I'm like, fuck, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, that was my first Mania.
Yeah, you didn't go to Mania the year prior.
I was probably, where was it?
It was Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix.
No, I wasn't.
No. Okay.
I wasn't there.
Okay.
I've been to Manias, I think, but
Yeah.
that was the first one I worked.
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, there's so many people there, and it was so early in the day. It was like the least nerve-wracking situation. I was drinking like a cup of coffee in Gorilla.
Yeah.
Because it's just so
Massive,
fucking
yeah.
massive.
Yeah.
It was the Atlanta,
Georgia Dome.
Georgia, whatever.
Yeah. Maybe not Georgia.
No,
whatever.
it's where the Falcons play.
Yeah.
But it's just so fucking big.
Yeah.
And there's just like patches of people here and there.
Yeah.
Like, you're just wrestling in front of like some people ringside.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
Because they're so far away from you.
Yeah.
It was like 3 PM because
Yep.
it's like a 12-hour show.
I had Ring of Honor that weekend in Atlanta.
I came and saw you.
Yeah.
Didn't I come and see you guys somewhere?
Yeah, it's possible. Did you come with Daniel Bryan?
We came and
With
saw you
Brian?
guys.
Yeah.
Fat Pants was at the.
Yeah.
I remember seeing you
Yeah.
there. That was
We were at
Atlanta.
Center Stage.
Center
Yeah.
Stage. That's
Yep.
where it was. Yeah.
Dave Taylor was on the show.
Who did I go there with? Brian.
Sheamus came too.
Who did I go there with?
Yeah.
Claude? No,
TJ?
Might have been TJ.
Yeah.
It might have been TJ. I don't remember. Maybe was it Ego? No, he
No.
wasn't in the company.
No, he's gone.
It wasn't Brian. He wasn't in the company then, was he? No,
Yeah.
he won the
Yeah.
fucking thing,
Yeah.
didn't he? Didn't he win the battle royal? No, it was him and Sheamus. And didn't Sheamus beat him real quick? Or
That was the next year.
Oh,
That was in
okay.
Miami the next year. But I remember Brian came to the Ring of Honor show. Brian, I think Sheamus was there. Maybe
I don't know who the fuck I went
You
there
were
with.
there.
Maybe
Yeah.
Colt.
Yeah, yeah,
Might have been Colt.
yeah.
I remember saw Fat Pants. I remember seeing you.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Delirious, I think it was.
Yep.
And that was a lifetime ago, man. I didn't even know probably Sammy then.
Yeah. I worked out at the Golds downtown, and then Rex was there. He had the locker right next to me in the locker room.
Yeah.
Dude came up to me when I was working out. He's wearing a fucking gas mask, and I was like,
Gabe did?
"Hey, no, this guy
Oh.
just comes up to me. He's wearing a gas mask while he's working out, and I'm like, what is this guy doing?" And he takes it off. It's Harry Smith.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to restrict his breathing or whatever. Roddy Piper was in the gym working.
Is Harry back in WWE?
He is. Yeah.
What a good dude. Man. I miss Harry, man.
Other thing I was going to say is
I went and worked. Sorry to cut you off, Harry. But hey, you wanna come train? We were at Tampa.
Yeah.
You wanna come train with me? Yeah, fuck, let's train. Dude, we did some leg workout with Harry a couple times.
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts, dude.
What
He's
are you
like,
doing?
you could tell he was like his grandpa. Like he's like kind of popping, like doing squats with me and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I could like the next few days. He's like, "How are your legs feeling?" I'm like, "Fuck you, man." Dude, like he was born to be a professional wrestler. Like God made, like you look at him, like that's a professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't meant to do anything else. Maybe MMA or whatever, but like. You look at Harry, he was like born to be a wrestler.
Made in a laboratory.
You know, his calves were like, Kernan's like, I fucking hate you, Harry. Because his calves are like, he was just born to be a wrestler. He's a good dude, man. I miss seeing him around.
You know what I remember about that Mania Battle Royal?
Regal fucking in the middle. Come on, motherfuckers. I'm like some young kid. I'm like, holy fuck, Regal's going to kill us. I thought it started off Sheamus and Bryan, then it turned into
because they were supposed to have a match at Mania.
They killed the match.
And then the match got
they
killed.
start off as a lumberjack.
Yeah.
And then we all slid in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Harry in his cowboy hat.
Bro, he didn't give a fuck. Bro, he
all of a sudden he's a cowboy.
Dude, he didn't give a shit. He just like fucking. He started wearing a cowboy hat with a suit. He was like, who's the Mexican? The Silver King or something?
Oh, okay, yeah, Tejano.
It's one of those guys who used to wear I'm like, man, Harry don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I remember doing a battle royal in Tampa for like some pay-per-view. It might have been like Extreme Rules or something. It was the night Osama bin Laden got killed. I remember and seeing a cut of promo after.
Yeah.
Harry's
compromised to.
We're doing like we need you to be a lumberjack. And I just look across the ring. We're like fucking trying to pretend to be a lumberjack. You know, like, I don't know what a lumberjack does. But fucking, You boys are all grab assing.
Yeah.
I just look over and Harry's just standing with a cowboy hat. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You just got a cowboy hat on. Just lumberjack.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
The Canadian Stampede.
You
there,
didn't give
man.
a fuck.
So the way it seems
miss
like
Harry, man.
Man.
I'm glad he's getting paid again.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
So what it seems like is you win NXT. Your mentor is Truth. You guys are supposed to get a tag title shot, whatever. Truth turns heel, and now you're kind of like, well, they're going to try to find a way to introduce you, and then they put all these promos together.
You want to know where that came from?
Yeah, please tell me. Tell me about these promos.
I went up to Brian Gerwitz in the hallway one time and pretty much said, what the fuck are you guys going to do with me?
Yeah.
I think it just...
Yeah.
It was my own fault.
Yeah.
It was my own fault. I had a bad attitude. I was going through a shitty breakup with a girl.
Yeah.
Starting to sell a little bit backstage. It's my own fault. It's easy to point the finger. He probably told someone, or I just had a bad attitude. Yeah. And I take credit for it. I mean, I'm accountable for that. I'm a grown-ass man. And if I could do it all again, I know the game a little bit better now.
Yeah.
But what it is like all that time in developmental, then you finally get a little taste, I guess. Yeah. And then you think it's gonna keep going. But it's about playing the game, man. I didn't do it right, as cliche as that sounds. Yeah. So Vince put some gimmick promos on me, and I no-sold it, bro.
I thought because I recently watched them back. I thought you put, you owned it in all of them. Well, you got the chip on your shoulder. There's spilled milk. You cut the mustard.
You knew who produced those and quit because of that? Freddie Prinze.
Oh, really?
I think he knew they were fucking with me. Yeah.
Take the cake, paint myself into a corner, writing on the wall. I gotta ask this one. Pull the cat out of the bag. It was a stuffed elephant, right? You had a crew guy there.
So I want to do a Ralphus gimmick with that guy.
He looked like Ralphus. Who was this guy? Mikey.
So that's my good friend Mikey.
He
ended up getting diabetes and they chopped his leg off. Oh. But I think they fabricated a truck for him to drive. I haven't seen him since. He lives out in Arizona. He lived on the road, bro.
Yeah.
But
they let him in there. They let him in the promo. It looks like he's missing his front two teeth like Ralphus.
They didn't want to go for it because I don't think they wanted.
Yeah.
I just debuted and lost. But.
Yeah. Yeah. They put you in there with Mark Henry.
Which is weird. You'd think they would just release me after all that.
Yeah, yeah.
But obviously, they were like fucking with me, but they must have liked me a little bit not to fire me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Or somebody did.
Um,
Well, like I said, man, that was my fault. I had an attitude problem, you know?
yeah.
And they were like letting me know that they run the show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't understand why you would want to devote any of your television, your precious television time to spite. But
I mean,
hey,
what the fuck was the Red Rooster? Dude, a lot of things are just ribs.
yeah,
Most
man.
the fucking Fandango character was a rib on Chris.
Yeah,
If Vince doesn't like something, he makes a character out of it.
yeah,
Vegans, taxes. He hates taxes. He thinks ballroom dancing was stupid when Chris went on Dancing with the Stars.
yeah,
It's all a fucking rib, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
Right? I mean, am I being wrong? You think
No,
I'm wrong?
man, that's just how, and maybe people kind of work themselves into thinking it's not a rib.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, where they just
Not
get so
like
behind-
emo-lish, like, I'm gonna fuck with this kid and pay him a lot of money for
Yeah.
14 years. But like, you know, it's like a long rib where you know. But
yeah.
it probably started off as a rib, you know.
So good thing here, November 2011, I believe you hit your first European tour.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
You know how that came about?
tell me.
I told Johnny, I just want to be on the road to do matches, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just let me go on the European tour. And he's like, all right,
Yeah.
I'll put you on the European tour.
Is it DiBiase you worked with?
I think DiBiase and I tagged versus TJ and Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
I always liked working with TJ.
He's good, man.
Yeah, one of the best.
Very
And,
special.
I always really had a soft, like, I always had a good spot in my heart for all the Hearts and Natty, the really good
Harry,
people.
yep.
Yeah, Harry, good folks. And yeah, we worked with PJ's a good friend of mine, and I think PJ and TJ were kind of tagging at the time. Gabriel and TJ,
Yep.
I think. I don't
Yeah,
know. I could
yeah.
be wrong, but I think it was kind of after the Heart Foundation thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I might have worked Teddy in some singles too, but
Yeah.
it was fun.
So that's cool. You get to go over to Europe. You get to visit a bunch of countries.
Yeah.
NXT season 5 starts. That's a redemption with everybody. You get to do some. I mean, they give you guys a lot of freedom, a lot of creativity. Between you, Bateman, Maxine, you guys did some very interesting stuff. You had a wedding on the 100th episode.
Yeah.
Like, man, tell me about your time. Tell me how you enjoyed this, or what you felt about it at the time.
So Dusty always talked about your body of work, so like
Yeah.
your full body of work, and so just being like, just doing like one character throughout your whole career is never gonna last. You have to evolve and do different things, and which I think everyone knows, but
Yeah.
that was a cool opportunity because they obviously had a TV deal overseas to fulfill a certain amount of television time with that show. They obviously just kind of gave up on it and kind of took it from a challenge reality show and made it into a kind of a scripted storyline show where Tom, our buddy Tom, who was a writer at the time. Casello?
Yeah.
I couldn't say his last name right, so I didn't want to say it. But
Well, I've only seen it.
you know Tom,
I've never. Yeah.
Casello. So he was like a Hollywood writer who he loved this show, man. And he put a lot of energy and effort into writing these promos, but no one else in the office really cared about it. So no one fucked with you. No one told you what to do, and just
Kind of like how 205 Live became.
yeah.
Where it's like, just let them do what they want.
But I ended up cutting a lot of promos and a lot of on the fly. Excuse me. Like backstage promos where you're on set and you're interacting with a lot of different people, and we would maybe do 3 takes and each take would be completely different, but we would get the same point across.
Yeah.
So that's when I kind of figured that, like, I kind of figured out that I was kind of getting good at doing those promos and stuff, and it was cool because I wasn't having someone stand behind the camera with a piece of paper and be like, "Cut! You didn't say that line correctly." So it was really free, and there was a lot of talented people, like you just said. Like Maxine was really good at promos, and Mike Bateman was really good at promos. So I think that really brought a lot of us out of our shell,
Yeah.
and we got a lot more comfortable on the mic, for sure.
Yeah.
And we had some good matches. That's when Henning and I started kind of tagging up, which is, you know, I wish we still tagged. Joe and I had this really good chemistry together.
Yeah.
And we're best friends now to this day. And we drove with Arn, man, at that time, and Arn really took a liking to us. I think we remind our style was kind of, you know, gritty like his, and he took a liking to us, and we drove with Arn. We learned a lot driving with Arn, and we actually got the tag team title shot that Ronnie and I were supposed to get.
Yeah.
It was Joe and I versus Kane and Brian.
Yeah.
And I learned a good lesson in that match. That was the first time I worked with Glenn, and I remember just being like real light with him. He goes, "Listen, dude," and this was a good lesson. I actually just gave this advice to a kid I worked last week. He was like real gentle with me. Like, he thought I wanted to be like brother, really. I go, "Listen, dude, don't be afraid to like," and Glenn's like, "This is your fucking, like, I'm coming here to work with you guys, and you're kind of."
That was at Full Sail.
He's like, "You're kind of timid with me. Like, I'm leaving here to go back to TV, and this is kind of your show, so apologize after and get your shit, and don't beat the fuck out of me, but like, don't, you know, like."
Yeah.
He built my confidence. He's like, they like you, obviously. They like your look, your size. Don't be afraid to work with guys that you think are better, higher than you. And I always remember that.
Yeah.
It's like when you kind of work some guys you think are a little bit higher up than you.
Last thing you want to do is leave a bad impression on somebody that has some
you know, bring it, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what I told some kid I worked last week.
Yeah.
He was like super gentle with me, and I appreciate him trying to be nice, but like it makes me kind of look like a pussy if he's, you know.
Yeah. Do you have any chloroform on you?
Yeah.
You do.
No. Those were all like. Yeah. Those were all. A lot of that shit was on the fly, man. Yeah. People still talk to me about those promos, which are fun, you know.
And then I think the line was like, you know, why do you have chloroform? And I think your response was, why don't I have chloroform? Yeah.
That was his character I came up. I really got into Dexter at that time.
Were you living in a van?
No.
What was this guy? Tell me about.
He was just a real dirtbag, and I kind of want to start doing this character again. But like when you work these indie shows like I am right now, nobody wants to see some new shit. It's
they don't want to hear the new album, bro.
Exactly.
They want the greatest hits.
So like I've got this whole idea of this new character in mind.
Yeah.
And I go to the indie show and they're fucking hitting the old Fandango music. Yeah. And it's like you go to see Guns N' Roses, you don't want to hear fucking Chinese Democracy. You want to hear Sweet Child of Mine.
Yep.
So it's hard till I land on TV somewhere and you can kind of develop this new character. You're working in front of 300 people, a bunch of kids. They don't give a fuck about like some new cool character idea you have.
Yeah.
They just want to see you come out and dance, man. Which is kind of unfortunate because I do want to kind of like, I want to go back and do some of that creepy shit.
Yeah.
But hopefully I can do some TV sometime soon and do some promos and shit.
You
don't do, I cut promos on these shows, but like you're not doing any interaction or TV promos, you know?
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to have like a little production team to like put stuff on the internet that people could follow, but it's
the best of right now.
Yeah.
You know.
So maybe I'm wrong here, but so with you teaming with McGillicuddy, with Curtis Axel, Joe Hennig, you guys worked with the Usos. Was this your first time wrestling the Usos, or did you work with them a bit in FCW?
We probably worked with them in FCW.
Because you would go on to wrestle them, those two men, more than anybody else in your entire career.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Those are your...
Man, I say this all the time. And I remember telling Roman this when he first started, and he actually told me this on a European tour once. I've never met or seen a bad Samoan wrestler. I saw Alpha Jr. a couple weeks ago, and every one of those motherfuckers are good, bro. And those twins, dude, are two of the best I've ever been in the ring with. Yeah. And Us is the same. Roma's the same way. Yeah. I never got to work with Eki, but he's fucking good. All the Samoans are good. Yokozuna, like every one of them. And I'm not just saying that. I mean, I've never seen a bad one. And I loved working with those guys, man. And we grew up, we came up together in the system, and I'm just stoked they're still getting paid good money to do their thing, man, because they're two of the best. You know? So is Roman, man.
Yeah, I mean, there was maybe about a 2-year period where they were kind of in limbo, where they got their push straight away, and then they kind of lingered for a while.
What I was saying about Roman is, like, when I first saw him start out, we would do promo classes, and I'm like, I could, like, cut a promo on him, how, like, I thought he was a fucking stud, thoroughbred, you know? And he told me one time on a European tour, like, I built his confidence up and shit.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool.
That's awesome.
Because I could see, like, you could see talent in people when they don't even see it themselves, because they're so worried about fucking up or saying the wrong thing all the time. Yeah. They're just kind of, like, walking around with their eyes open like this.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, you're getting ready to get the gimmick, man. You're getting ready to get the gimmick. And is it... Do I have this right? October 23rd, 2012, you have a dark debut as Fandango. And your opponent is Sami Callihan?
Yeah.
Was that your first match as Fandango?
So I was doing like do you want to hear the whole story of how that came up?
Of course, man.
So
Please.
Tyler Rex and Kurt Hawkins,
we're doing the tag.
They wanted them to be a stripper gimmick. Mm-hmm. So essentially what Breeze and I were doing, and Hunter loves that fucking idea. We come out each week as some different stripper. Yeah. He's loved that idea, and he wanted to do it with them back in 2012. Yeah. That was like the Breezango shit. That was Hawkins and Ryder. I mean Hawkins and Rex.
Yeah.
And like they had live events. Ask Hawkins about this. They had live events booked for like months. And they debuted doing the stripper gimmick. Mm-hmm. And Gabe didn't like it. He didn't want to do that on TV, which is it's cool. It's his decision. He told Brian he's asking for his release. I think we were in Texas somewhere. I remember that day. He asked for his release, and Brian's like, I finally got my. Like my run. Well, I mean, he was tag champ,
but like, to get back.
And then Brian goes to the office and asks, I forget his name, bald guy who was writing, but he goes, "What about Johnny Curtis to tag with?" Yeah, I'm like, that's a good idea. Yeah. They came to me. They go, "We want you to do the stripper gimmick. We don't want Brian to do it." They go, please don't tell him." I go, "All right." I went and told Brian, "Listen, dude."
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, he's one of my best friends. I mean, I'm like, "Dude, I'm sorry." He's like, "Listen, I don't really want to do it anyways." I'm like,
just trying to get on TV.
Yep. I go, "All right." They sent me to dance school to strip. So I actually started doing the stripper thing while I was tagging with Joe as McGillicuddy. Mm-hmm. Halfway through that, you and I are about to do a match. Yeah. That's when Vince calls and goes, "Send him to ballroom dancing school instead." That's when Vince got the hair across his ass. Yeah. He thought of the Jericho thing right there. Yeah. So somewhere like October, November in there, like they took me off all the darks but I think I did wrestle Sammy and shit. Yeah. Yeah. That's when I started going to ballroom dancing school.
Yep. You wrestled Garrett Dillon in NXT, Chris Christopherson's son. Yeah. Man, so they tell me about these classes.
I moved out to I was partying a lot in Tampa, and I knew this was a big opportunity. My good friend Jinder Mahal was moving out to Houston to live near Cali.
He's a Camden Bayside guy too.
Camden Bayside, yeah.
Him and Breeze, they were roomies,
yeah. So I'm like, this is a good opportunity. I'm gonna get the fuck out of Tampa. Yeah. I got enough heat here, anyways, with everybody in town. So I moved out there with Jinder. Got out of the party and. They sent me to a Arthur Murray's ballroom dancing school in Houston. Yeah. So I was going on the road doing TV and just going to dance school, nothing else. I wasn't going out, wasn't partying. Yeah. Dancing, and then doing live events. They were calling me simply Johnny Curtis at first, I believe, and I'd do like a rose thing. And then I remember we came into TV in like Birmingham, and Kasama's like, "When do you want to do the Fandango promo?" And that was the first time I've ever heard those words. Yeah. So they wanted me dancing behind a sheet in a silhouette, and I did, and they just fantastic. Brian Gerwitz came up with the name.
Yeah. I got some of these written down.
Yeah,
do you remember?
That was all Gerwitz. I don't remember any of them.
Man,
it was fantastic. Athletic.
Angelic.
Angelic.
We've got noble.
Noble.
Dapper. Astonishing. I thought this one was funny. Noteworthy.
Noteworthy.
You're noteworthy. Graceful. And I thought there's a couple. The O that I liked the best was opulent.
Fuck. I never even read that before.
Yeah, I watched a couple different ones. Pretty funny. And you had your catchphrases. Your mind if I cut in? Or,
Yeah.
Or what was the one? Follow my lead and watch your steps.
So those vignettes aired in like what,
Yeah.
October, November?
Yeah, and then
I didn't do shit for a while.
Yeah.
So what happened is Vince rented out the Highland Ballroom in Manhattan.
Yeah.
And set up a production. And I remember getting there, limo picking me up, bringing me to my hotel. I was trying to get sober at the time. And,
Yeah.
like, man, I gotta stay in my room. It's a big opportunity.
Yeah.
You ever seen that movie Flight?
I don't think
With
so.
Denzel. Anyways, he's an alcoholic, but like, I'm in my room. I'm like, fuck, man, it's boring. So I go down to the hotel bar.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's fucking 9 a.m. all of a sudden. And I gotta get picked up in a limo to go shoot fucking vignettes all day long.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened? I went out all night in Manhattan partying.
Yeah.
And got there, danced all day with some Russian chick. She was complaining because I smelled like alcohol. And Vince didn't like any of the promos. It cost him like $100,000 or whatever to do all that. So I'm working out, and I'm not advocating drinking at all. I'm just talking about my substance abuse at the time, which didn't help me at all. Vince didn't like the promos. I didn't say my name right, which eventually he made into a gimmick.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? So like that's how it all started.
Yeah.
He didn't like the way I say Fandango.
Yeah.
He wanted me to draw it out. So like he takes things that he doesn't like and then makes it into a character, which is kind of obviously genius. But I'm working out one day before TV in Atlanta with Cena and Bateman and a bunch of the guys, Titus, because John had like a Georgia Tech hookup or something like that. He went to school there. All of a sudden, I have like 25 missed texts and calls from Mark Carano, and they're like, "Where the fuck are you?" Somebody forgot to tell me that Vince had a whole TV production set up in the behind the arena.
Yeah.
He's going to produce all those vignettes. So there was like a second set of vignettes on the screen that Vince was going to do himself, and he came in with just had surgery on his hip.
Yeah.
I just came right from the gym, and
I think they should have told you maybe a little bit earlier. Yeah.
And Panikowski, you remember that guy's name?
Yeah, I remember the name.
That was the guy, and then he wasn't there that much longer after that.
Yeah.
But then we shot those promos, and he liked those better, and I said my name different. And then a couple weeks later, we started a deal with Chris. But I think Chris was supposed to work with Ryback.
Yeah.
And which is weird, because obviously Vince knew the whole time. Why would you start a ballroom dancing gimmick?
Yeah.
So I don't know if Chris got worked, but...
Yeah. Did he get the pronunciation of the name from Queen? From Bohemian Rhapsody, you think?
I don't know. I don't know if Vince even knows who Queen is.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if he just listened to AC/DC. Maybe he listens to Queen. I've only heard him listen to AC/DC at the gym in Jennifer. But who knows?
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Yeah. Peculiar. So they pair you up with a professional dancer to
Andrea,
do these.
Yeah. Andrea, a young girl.
Yeah, and how long was she with you?
It's an interesting story. So she was like 21, and her boyfriend would come with her, and he was super jealous, insecure of me, rightfully so, motherfucker. Yeah. She was just a beautiful, nice young girl, innocent girl, just a dancer. And she's just walking into a hornet's nest, so that is the wrestling business. I felt bad for her, you know, because all the boys were, hey, what's up? You know, this young girl, she's got no idea. She's sitting in catering.
Oof.
And they wanted to sign her and bring her on full time.
Yeah.
And then her boyfriend, after Mania, like had her quit. She broke up with her boyfriend and tried to get the job back. And they're like, sorry.
Sorry.
They wanted to sign her and bring her on full time to do the shtick.
Mm-hmm.
But then Vince was like, you know what? We don't need her. We'll bring on another girl that can bump and work a little bit.
Yeah.
That opens his character up a little
Can kind of do the splits.
But
Yeah.
she was a nice girl, man. I really liked her.
Yeah.
And she was a good dancer, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't, but in retrospect, man, if I spent less time partying and focused more on the character.
Yeah.
You know.
But I think like the heel dancer that thinks he's the best at dancing but isn't the best at dancing. That's the
it's
gimmick.
fucking wrestling.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
At the end of the day, everyone could tell me what they would have fucking done.
Yeah.
But I mean, how many people could have done that character better than me? I mean, honestly, I mean, really.
Yeah.
I think I got pretty good. You know, I did pretty good with it. You
Yeah.
know?
You got a little bit of longevity out of it.
I'm not putting myself over, but I think how. So say I went to fucking dance school and I was the best dancer in the world. What more would that add to the character?
Yeah. Yeah.
That character's only got so much shelf life.
Yeah. And there's also someone sitting in a boardroom going, we need this, on that. And it's just a choosing game. Of, I want this much TV time on this. I want, you know. So I don't know if they were going to revamp Raw into a dancing show, but
Who knows?
yeah. Man, you got to have your Mania deal. You got to work with Jericho.
Yeah.
How was that?
I you know, Kevin and I, we always talked about two things. Was that Shawn entrance backstage and then Chris debuting in WWF. We thought that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
I've never said a negative word about Chris, out of respect.
Yeah.
Because I respect him. I respect anybody that's been around. I got a lot of respect for the older guys and the guys that have done it. And I never will, because it's quite obvious that he wasn't happy with the situation. And I don't blame him. He might have been told something else and something else transpired out of it.
Yeah.
He did a great job of making me. I mean, really.
Yeah.
He could have been a complete dick and fucking made
sandbagged
it
you the whole time. Yeah.
You know. It was just a shitty situation,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I owe a lot of money that I made to him.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I got nothing bad to say about him.
Yeah.
Why? You know. You know. I made a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know. He's doing his thing. He's happy.
Yeah.
I'm fucking doing a show at Danhausen next week.
I
I owe a lot to Chris, man, you know, and I could see where he wasn't super stoked about working with me,
Yeah.
you know. I just wanted, the only thing I wanted was him to respect me.
Yeah.
You know. And a lot of people, when you play a goof and you're fucking a goof on TV,
Yeah.
a lot of people correlate your on fucking screen persona.
Yeah.
But dude, I build houses for a living. I'm not a fucking gimmick. You know, like I'm a real man at the end of the day. And people tend to treat you like who you are on TV, especially in that bubble.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Like the guys that their gimmick is they're like a shoot fighter badass, but like in real life
it's
they're
so
not.
easy. Listen, you know how easy it is to pretend you're a fucking tough guy?
Yeah.
That's the easiest character
Yeah.
to play.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to pretend you're a fucking... Look at Regal, dude.
Yeah.
He made a career off being... Because he knows who the fuck he is as a man.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Gorgeous George.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, like, justify myself. Like,
Yeah.
But, like... Or say I'm a tough guy, but... It's harder to fucking pretend you're...
Yeah.
It takes balls to go out there and pretend you're a sissy, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? I would love to be a fucking tough guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but...
You imagine.
But it was challenging.
Yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
maybe, you know. But that's the only thing I don't like is how people fucking... Man, you're nothing like you are on TV, or what I expected. You think I'm a really fucking ballroom dancer, you know? Like...
Or like a guy in a movie's like a hardcore racist, you know?
Yeah.
He takes that role and he
Yeah.
kills it. And you hate him,
Yeah.
and you meet him in real life.
Or like
and
these
you're
fucking guys, like I'm a joke, you know, because I'm a
Yeah.
joke on TV. You think I'm a joke in real life?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? The problem is when you're in the midst of partying and
Yeah.
substance abuse, you correlate your on-screen persona with who you are in real life, and that's a
Yeah.
big problem with a lot of wrestlers
Yeah.
and a lot of guys that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if any of the boys are watching this, man, you gotta learn to separate that because, you know, it's the hard thing when you love this business so much that if you're a fucking goof on TV and your whole life is a business and you fly home and
Yeah.
you don't have a good home life, it's a tough week, you know.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, the only way
Yeah.
they can handle that is,
Yeah.
or stop thinking about that, is going to the strip club and getting fucked up. So like I lived that for a long time, and playing that character took a large
Yeah.
toll on my life, you know. You know, I didn't like doing it. You know, I didn't want to be fucking remembered as Kramer from Seinfeld, but you know, I don't complain about it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I got an opportunity, a kid from a trailer park, to make a lot of money. I could have turned it down, but I knew that was probably one of my only shots. I mean, what are you gonna do? You're gonna say no? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. And I mean, Chris can go on every podcast and fucking say what he says. But what am I gonna say? What would you say if you're? No, I don't want to work. I don't want to work him or have him. You think I give a fuck if I went over it? Like, I don't give a fuck. Don't get mad at me, bro. Like,
Yeah.
get mad at Vince.
Yeah. You didn't write it.
Big fan, Kurt. We want you to be a badass guy. All right.
Yeah.
Or we want you to be a fucking stripper. All right.
Um,
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
all right, dude.
Yeah. So, not that this means anything in the grand scheme of things, but man, you're getting
Thanks, baby.
you got a little push going on, and then it's like you spent so much of your career helping make other people and doing the favors, and now you've got a couple months where you're just like, holy shit, other people are out there and their job is to make me look good, and
Yeah. It went to my head too, bro.
yeah.
No, it did. It
Yeah.
did. I got an attitude. You know what? It wasn't even an attitude. It was I had a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I had an ego. But I always thought if you're going to be successful in this big business, you kind of have to have a little bit of an ego.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was partying a lot. You look at my body throughout that run, man, and I let it go. I just slowly deteriorated. I let up. And that's my own fault. My head wasn't in it. I got to where I wanted to, and I felt like Mania was like the Super Bowl, and I won it.
Yeah.
Or whatever,
Yeah.
And then it was like, I didn't keep going. I let up.
Yeah.
And that's my own ego and my own fault. I relied a lot on Chris to put that angle together, and I didn't have a lot to come up with after we were done with it, and that's on me. And that's the lesson that I learned on myself. And if anyone's watching, when you show up to TV every week, and they've got something written for you, and you already know what you're doing, don't get comfortable with that, because eventually they're gonna, unless you're the top, like,
Figured in.
if you're Roman, Randy, or Cena, they're obviously always gonna be writing shit for you. But if you're a mid-card guy, I mean, eventually they're gonna come up with a new mid-card guy, and you have to be proactive and keep pitching shit or whatever. I don't know if you have to keep in the mix and create a rapport with your boss. And I didn't, and that's my own fault. I relied too much on just the initial push. You know what I'm saying? And I think just being a good worker kept me around for a while.
Yeah.
And
Goodwill, locker room goodwill.
They just kept me around because the boys like to hear me talk.
Yeah.
With a mascot.
Man, one thing I thought was cool, like, you got this gimmick, you got this entrance, you got the song. When you do your, hard cam pose in the ring, and they'd have that gimmick up there with the sparklers on it.
Yeah, I just saw that at the warehouse a couple months ago.
Dude, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, that's straight out of like the Sid sign.
Yeah,
You know, Sean's got his stuff going on behind him. That's a pretty cool thing. You'll have to get that off of.
That's what I wanted to get.
Put it in your backyard or something.
Yeah. You know what? That cost him $5,000 a week to ship that. The guy told me. Yeah. I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah. No, man, that's pretty awesome. You're working with like Santino a shitload. You're working with Regal, Gabriel, Ryder, R-Truth, which is cool. You're back with your mentor. Jericho gets his win back at Extreme Rules. You were supposed to be in an Intercontinental deal, and then you got a concussion against Ryder. What happened?
Kali knocked me out.
Oh shit! It was Kali.
Yeah.
Was it this guy?
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I faved it. I worked. It was like on a Raw or SmackDown.
Yeah.
I faved it. I knew they were putting the title on me.
Yeah.
So I tried to work through it. I wrestled Chris in Augusta, Maine. I remember that loop.
Yeah.
And like the first bump I took, because if you get a concussion, it's easy to get another one really quick because your brain's still swollen. I took a shoulder tackle and I was fucking, seeing stars. Faved it. Got to Raw, I think. Wrestled Ryder. Took a shoulder tackle and was out completely.
Yeah.
And got to the back.
Did he hit the ropes?
I don't
He
remember.
tackle you and then.
I was just out.
Yeah.
I was just out. I think I hit a leg drop on him and like fucking killed him at the end.
Yeah.
And,
damn.
I remember I got to the back and asked Road Dogg or somebody. I thought I just wrestled Kali.
Yeah.
Because your brain goes back
goes
to where.
Back to...
Hunter came and checked on me. I was driving with Swoggle and Myers because we stayed in New York the night before. It was in Nassau. We were
Long Island.
And Road Dogg told, hey, go check on fucking Gimmick.
Yeah.
And Hunter came in and checked on me. And I'm like, hey, Paul, tomorrow's a big showdown in Montreal. He's like, fuck. I was like, it was like you drink 50 beers. You know? I was just out, bro.
Yeah.
Hunter yelled at Myers and Swoggle.
For faving it.
Which wasn't their fault, but
yeah.
I was old school, man.
Yeah.
I think fucking Jericho goes on podcasts and says like I got hurt or something, or I don't know, or like I don't know, but I never really told anybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fuck.
So you come back and you wrestle in Maine. You weren't really able to enjoy it, hey?
No, I was out.
Damn.
But
because that would have been your first time coming back and working in Maine since all those years before.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, but I had to take like a month off, and they put the title on Henning, which I was even happier than
your
me.
boy.
So I'm glad they did it for him.
Yeah.
So
so I mean, you must have done 100 battle royals, whether it was a Royal Rumble, a battle royal, a
getting
SmackDown
ready for the Dre. That's
man,
what I saw,
the Andre. Yeah, you just
bulk to Rumble, cut to Mania.
Yeah,
get ready for the Dre.
Man, you have on your resume, you got quite a few. Did a bunch of fun stuff. You had a singles with Daniel Bryan on Raw in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That didn't happen a whole lot. The Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh, the Andre Mania 30. They paired you with Layla. You got paired with Rosa Mendez. You did some of those Emma and Santino mixed tags. That's one you came back in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Got to have one of those.
I really like working with Santino a lot.
Yeah. Rumble in Philly. There's another Andre. You did some stuff with Mizdow, which is the Sandow when he was doing the Miz stuff.
Yeah, fucker was over, man.
Yeah. Thought this was kind of cool. May 12, 2015, in Evansville, you had a dark against Breeze. And that would have been the first time you guys have ever wrestled. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, you had a dark with him. later on that year, you got some house shows in Maine, in Portland and Bangor against Heath.
Yeah, yeah.
So you get to go back home.
Yeah.
Now you're teaming with Sandow against Breeze and Stardust, which is a funny thing because you have no clue that you and Breeze are gonna meet up.
Yeah.
So it's funny. It's you and Goldust against Breeze and R-Truth in a tag.
Yeah.
You cut this promo and you say it's Goldango against the gorgeous Truth, right?
Yeah.
And then you guys do the swap.
So they were doing cuts right around then. I think Santino got cut. This is like 2016. Breeze and I were on the list to get cut.
Yep.
And Vince said, no, let's put them together.
Yeah.
So like we were a week away from getting cut.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think they cleaned house that's right after Mania.
Yeah, this was May 2016.
Yeah, so right after Mania in 16. So like we were about to get fired and they just put us together like that. So
I just thought that was cool that the names were kind of figured out from the promo.
Yeah.
Because they were the Golden Truth or whatever, and then
so
you guys
we were just put together to build them.
Yeah.
But they didn't really do much with them. And
and then you guys went over.
Yeah.
Funny little thing, just because I watched these, you took out Goldust with a clothesline and Breeze pinned him. So it was just a clothesline.
Really?
Then it was against R-Truth. You hit you went to hit a spin kick or something. You hit the spin, or no, R-Truth went to hit the spin kick. Somebody moved. He hit Goldust, and then Goldust got pinned in that match. So he lost to a clothesline the one match. He lost to a spin kick the next match. Which, if there's that's how it's supposed to be. You don't always have to hit your finish. But I just thought it was funny that Goldust was like, yeah, bro, just clothesline me. It's all good.
I liked working with Goldie.
Yeah. So Breeze is wrestling Goldust in a singles. I think this is just at some live event. And you hop on the apron with a wrench?
Dude. So we're doing some live event and they're going to they're supposed to hit the music and Ronnie comes running out to clean house.
Yeah.
And the sound guy wasn't smartened up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe if I go under the ring and get a wrench and look at the sound guy and do this. So I step in the ring and hit the music. No music. Step back out. Breeze goes to the top and like he's gonna drop something and then he doesn't do anything off the top.
Yeah.
Like there's a cue and then Truth just runs out. Dude, Goldie was so pissed. The sound guy no one ever told the sound guy. Never gave him the cue.
Yeah.
We're doing it every night.
Yeah.
We're about to beat up Goldie. Here comes Ronnie. The cue is when I hop up on the apron.
Yeah.
And no one told the sound guy.
Yeah.
So I just step in with a wrench.
Yeah.
And then step right back out.
You think Arn is watching the monitor, getting ready to write his report, and sees you hop up with the wrench? Like, what the hell is he gonna do? Yeah.
Looking at the sound guy.
Man, you wrestled the Usos a bunch, Lucha Dragons, the Shining Stars. You had a singles with Orton on SmackDown. That's kind of cool.
Randy's good, man.
Someone you'd been around for a while, but you just were in different parts in the company.
That's one of those situations where I'm like, oh, this is a really good wrestler.
Yeah.
Brian was the same way.
Yeah, it just feels different.
Yeah,
like Kidman, when you're in FCW and you're in there with Kidman, you're like,
I'm wrestling Heath and all my buddies, and not that any of us are bad, but Randy is just
different.
Or Brian, just fucking good, really good.
Hype Bros, American Alpha, Heath and Rhino, Vaudevillains. Then you got a short match on SmackDown against Cena. You get to work. Work with John. Bro, tell me. You don't have to tell me a lot, but just give me a little bit about Chet Cheddarfield.
Dude, so I had this alter ego called Chad Cheddarfield.
Yeah.
I think we got it from Turd Ferguson, which was Norm Macdonald.
Yeah, R.I.P.
We'd call and prank people and shit.
Yeah.
So, my buddy who produced that show, Pele, who's since been fired, they cleaned out that whole digital.
Yep. Pelagato? Oh, I didn't know he did that.
Brian,
Southpaw is
yeah.
what we're talking about.
So Brian came up with that whole gimmick, and then this is when I realized John's on another level. So they hand John like a book, like probably 20 pages of like 6. We filmed all those in like an hour.
Yeah.
Every episode. They hand John a whole fucking. He looks through them all the plugs, all the Old Spice commercials.
Yeah.
Sets it down. And fucking cuts an hour's worth of promos, bro.
Yeah.
And doesn't fuck one line up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I can't do that. I'm going to go on the fly and just play off you, which is my strong point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of verbiage, but like, I can't. He's a fucking robot, bro.
Yeah.
Like, he does that shit. So he nailed every single line for every episode with just looking at it once.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy fuck, this dude's on another level.
Another
Like,
level.
his ability to absorb information.
Yeah.
And that's just being like a good college student and just being a smart guy.
Yeah. And taking movie roles.
And taking movies. Just being able to look at a script and like we talked about guys just remembering lines and saying them. But he doesn't just do that. He delivers them and makes it sound like I'm like, holy fuck, this dude's on another level.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to keep up with him. But I was better off just playing off him and coming up with shit on the fly.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember my lines like that.
Yeah.
Like I'm too shot. But like I'll probably never be a movie star, but maybe like a stand-up comic or something. But I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Oh yeah. All right. So home stretch here. Man, you hit up another Andre. You're king of the Andres at this point.
Yeah.
Something that's cool is you guys, you and Breeze, you work with the Ascension quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that's your boy O'Reilly, right?
Yeah, full circle,
Yeah,
man.
you were living on his couch or whatever.
Yeah, he took me in, man, and he ended up quitting the WWE.
Yeah.
And I remember he was coming back, and he was gonna go do TV to go see Johnny in like 08 or 09.
Yeah.
And I remember a bunch of guys were like kind of bad mouthing him. He's like real nervous. Like, fuck, dude, I'll walk right into TV with you, bro.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm loyal to people that were good to me.
Yeah.
And we went right into TV together. He was real nervous, and they ended up signing him again. And he thanked me for that. But
Yeah.
I don't. You don't sell out your friends, man, for anything in this business. You know, like integrity is really important to me, and it's important to surround yourself around people with integrity. It's hard to find. People sell out their moral values to fucking get a pop or get themselves over and play the political bullshit. But
Yeah, it's just
at
making
the end of the
themselves
day,
feel better.
if you're an insecure little guy that fucking lives for the pop and you gotta bury everybody else and everyone knows you're a fucking grimy piece of shit. But I mean, at the end of the day, man, I'd rather just be a real man and have integrity. So
Yeah. Man, we're getting ready to get into the area where you've got the fashion files.
Yeah, man.
You got the peaks, just some fun stuff. Did the freedom and the creativity there, did that remind you a little bit of that NXT era stuff?
So I got
What was the impetus for all this?
so I got knee surgery and I didn't want to miss the European tour because I wanted to go party for a few weeks.
Yeah.
And I like sped up the rehab, but in the rehab time, we weren't doing a lot. So I'm like, Breeze is like, let's shoot some promos backstage. All right, so we just got the .com guy and just came up with a fashion police thing. It's mostly Breeze's idea.
Yeah.
Which is a good lesson. If you're not doing shit, just keep shooting promos backstage, and at least that way, if they fire you, they can't be like, you can be like, well, we did pitch something.
Yeah.
Because that's usually their go-to. Well, we didn't have anything for you. Well, we pitched 1,000 fucking ideas.
Yeah.
Which saved Breeze's career years prior because they were going to release him, but he went and shot promos with Woods.
Yeah.
And that's where Tyler Breeze came from. So
Yeah.
we did the same thing and shot the fashion police shit. We just did it on the fly. And then they're like, well, I got a good reception online. And then we eventually started doing it on TV.
Mm-hmm.
And Swakata, a good friend of ours, one of the writers, loved writing that. And, a few of the other guys back in Stanford.
Yeah.
And Vince didn't get it, and he didn't like it. He's like, it gets a really good reaction, I guess, on social media, so just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
There's a lot of pop culture shit in there, you know, a lot of TV show stuff, and it was fun because no one, you know, it was really loose, and it reminded me of NXT where I was going to work knowing that I was going to cut more promos than wrestle, so it was fun.
Yeah.
It was challenging, which I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know,
and it's wrestling comedy is so hard.
Yeah.
Because everybody thinks they're funny. We all think we're funny, right?
Yeah.
But to put it up against an audience, and not just an audience that like an audience that's expecting wrestling and then to make them laugh, it's fucking hard, man. It's really hard. So you guys were able to take that organic, you know, chemistry that you guys have with each other, and then some oddball ideas, and then to put it on a TV screen and let it play out.
Yeah.
It's hard, but
it is. Yeah.
You guys really, you know, did something special.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And those little inside fourth wall, is that what you say, fourth wall?
Yeah.
Like those little things they would put on the bulletin board.
I loved all those.
Yeah,
I loved all those.
Little inside shit that we come up with.
I think it's amusing how both of your characters have some inspiration from Zoolander, the movie Zoolander. I think you could have both been characters in that world.
Yeah.
Or
I think Breeze's character was a lot based on that.
Yeah.
For sure.
And then kind of your cadence, the way you would speak and kind of look into just a little bit of that.
For sure.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's funny how we can take things from...
Dude, I'll cut a promo now on like an independent show and like stop halfway and be like, oh, I don't talk like this anymore.
Yeah. I saw it just a few days ago.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah. I totally forgot. I'm like,
why am I talking like this? Yeah.
Then I go into promo voice. Yeah. Generic wrestler promo voice. I'm going to beat the crap out of you guys tonight.
How did you get it approved that you could have this pay-per-view match with Breeze dressed up as an old lady?
Dude, you want to hear the story about that?
Yeah, come on, man.
So we roll into Chicago ready to have a fucking...
This was the night Jinder won the title.
Yeah.
Because I was there for TakeOver. We had a TakeOver.
Bro, we roll in there ready to have fucking Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express match. I'm thinking arm drags and fucking dropped holes, right?
Yep.
I'm like, let's go talk to... I grab the Usos. Let's go talk to Vince, see what he wants. And we get in there. He's like, I'm thinking, you guys been doing those costumes and, you know, those promos you've been doing. Like, yeah. He's like, what if, like, you wear the costumes to the ring and, like, change them throughout the match? I'm thinking, fuck. We're like, great idea, boss.
Yeah.
We get outside the fucking office. I just start laughing. I'm like, oh, man, he's fucking with us.
Yeah.
And Uso's like, damn, bro. Shit. Because we're thinking, like, good-ass match. We want to go out there and tear it up, you know? I'm like, all right, let's call this motherfucker. And Breeze is obviously better at putting shit together than me. But we put together this comedy match, and it was like the best match we ever had. The crowd fucking loved it.
Yes.
And it worked in Chicago.
Yeah.
It would have worked in like Philly probably.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have been better in like Hildago. But
Yeah.
like they got it there. They were smart.
Yeah.
And we get to the back, fucking standing ovation. I seriously thought that was our last. Like after Vince told us that, I'm like, well. That was. It was fun. Well, lasted.
Yeah. Something cool about that is there was TakeOver the day before, and they had the Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne match where they let them kind of do any and everything they wanted to do, which is the complete contrast to what you guys were doing.
Yeah.
But it was, you know, not the exact same crowd, but it just goes to show that audiences want a little bit of everything, and if it's good, no matter what kind of good it is, though.
Well, I mean, when you go to the zoo, bro, you don't want to just see fucking giraffes.
Yeah.
You want to see the penguins and the birds.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to get some cotton candy, and you want to just experience the whole fucking gig.
Yeah.
I don't want to just go watch a show with just all generic good wrestlers.
Yeah.
I don't, personally. Yeah. Some people might, but I want to go. I want to see the giant guy. I want to see a good girls match, maybe two good girls matches. I want to see fucking the special attraction. I want to see a little bit of I want to see a good wrestling match. It's if you can't draw money, be funny. I don't know. It's body of work, man. There's no right or wrong, you know.
Body of work.
It's all about your body of work.
Body of work, baby. Another cool thing later on this year, Survivor Series kickoff in Houston. You guys wrestle Sammy and Kevin Owens.
Yeah.
That's a cool one too.
Yeah, Sammy and Kevin are good dudes, man, and it's a good little match, good little basic match. We had fun. Just two guys I like being around, anyways. In life in general.
Yep. And they're very funny together.
Yeah, they're like brothers, man.
Yeah.
Breeze and I are like brothers. We argue like brothers, and those two, definitely like brothers.
Yeah.
Those are two guys I miss seeing around a lot.
Yeah.
You know? Sucks you're around these guys all the time, and then you just never see them again. Yeah.
Yeah. Clash in Boston. You wrestled. I believe it was a short match, but you wrestled the Bludgeons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I remember So they're heating up Brody and Rowan, and it's like, this is Vince's baby. Yeah. Dude, we went over that match all fucking day. And it went from like it was like 70-30 them.
Yeah.
Then it went 75-20. As the day progressed, it's like, we're going to lose that spot. It's just, we feel like, Like, dude, listen, you're not going to hurt a fucking... The thing is, if you eat shit, then you taste a little sweet, it's okay. You're used to tasting shit.
But if you start...
Yeah. Reese and I were jabroni. I mean, we're used to eating shit. Don't fucking maybe just be like, all right, it's their match. It's okay.
Yeah.
But if you only taste sweet and then it's time for you to eat some shit, those are the guys that can't handle it.
Yeah.
If you've already done the job, man, it's not a big deal. But I remember going over that match all day long, and it was like a 3-minute squash.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even wrestling to me. It was just like, let's get through this without people yelling at us.
Yeah.
It's like all day calling a 3-minute match, and it's just straight up. It's just all smoke. It's just all production there. It's like entrance. It's presentation. It's TV wrestling.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, Yeah. And it's just one of those matches where you ever just had one and you're just glad it's over with. Just the stress of it. And it's not like it was hard calling it with those guys.
No, it's all the variables.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm glad this is over.
Yeah.
They just like big booted us and killed us. And I'm like, why did we go over this all day?
Yeah.
You
know what what I find...
It's because they care and they want it to be right.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, what I find is in a situation like that, you guys are just puppets on strings with this guy in the back that thinks it should go this way, and this guy thinks it should go this way, and there's an internal battle.
Just have two local guys do it, I think. I guess we were local, but...
Yeah. Yeah, man. Hey, what a better place to do it, man. Yeah, you get that pop. Oh, he's from Maine. Yeah. Oh, New England, cool.
Hailing from 100 miles up the road.
Yeah.
Fucking sexy cop.
Yeah. Man, you got him on your bicep right there.
Yeah.
Just tell me a little bit about that guy and what he meant to you.
Man, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. One time, man, I was trying to quit drinking, so I was just doing some other shit on tour one time. And I remember fucking Brody getting on the bus with Breezy, and like Noble's like, man, they were putting the boots to you out there, talking shit about you. I'm like, all right, motherfuckers, I'm all tuned up, I'm in a bad mood.
Yeah.
So I like try to fight Brody on the back of the bus. And I'm just being an obnoxious dick, just fucking, whatever.
Yeah.
And we get on the plane, I'm staring at him all fucking mean and shit. And then I kick out, I'm good, and just Brody, just beautiful human being.
Yeah.
It's okay, girl, I bet, he just forgives me. And that's just the kind of dude he was, And like I said earlier, like we could be miserable, like I remember one tour, like fly to Saudi Arabia to start a European tour, just miserable.
Yeah.
And Brody with his fucking dry humor, just make you feel like you're at home, or He's one of those Gallo type of
Yeah.
guys, you
Yeah.
know. If you don't like Brody,
He, when some guys are grumpy, they're annoying as shit. But he pulled off grumpy in like a very funny way. That You're just like,
he wasn't afraid to make.
yeah,
So remember how we talk about like the bitter and the sweet, eating
Yeah.
the shit.
yeah,
Brody's an indie guy that ate shit for years,
Yeah.
so like he can make fun of himself where he's not a mark for
yeah,
himself.
yeah,
Like, you know, like
Yep.
he could self-deprecate. Is that the word? You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
So he was in on the. He was one
No
of the
one's
boys.
gonna rib him harder than he can rib
Exactly.
himself already.
And that's what I loved about him. And that's
Yeah.
you know, Gal's the same way. You know,
Yeah.
like he can lighten the mood
Yeah.
up and
Yeah.
you know.
Oh,
But he's one of the boys, you know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, one of them, man. Man, we got Mania 34 in New Orleans. We got another Andre for you.
The Dre. I think
which-
I was in like every Dre until I got hurt.
Yeah. That led to Jeddah. You guys are in the greatest.
Oh, do you want to hear a quick story about the Dre real quick? I know it's
Yeah,
getting
yeah,
late.
please. No,
So
please.
fucking Tatanka's in that one, I think, right? I don't know. One of those was Tatanka.
Yeah, Tatanka was the year prior, but yeah.
Oh, so the year
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're in the ring and fucking Tatanka's in the back waiting for his music to
Yeah.
hit, and they're like, "No, motherfucker, you don't have music. Just go out with
Yeah.
everybody." Which is kind of weird
Yeah.
that he would just come up on TV
Yeah.
and Tatanka's in the
Yeah.
ring because
Yeah.
that's Tatanka.
Yeah.
And they didn't even announce him or anything.
Also, the only time Tatanka and Kenta have been in the same match.
Weird, right?
Because that was the same one he was in the.
It was kind of odd just to
Yeah.
have Tatanka randomly in a battle royal. So he thought he had an entrance.
Yeah.
So he's waiting for his entrance. Yeah, he thinks he's getting a big entrance. So all of a sudden, fucking Glenn's in the ring because Tatanka was involved in like a series of.
Yeah.
It's all, domino. You know,
Yeah.
he goes out. You go.
Boom,
go.
boom.
No Tatanka. Kane's going. No Tatanka. No Tatanka. No Tatanka. All of a sudden, you see fucking Tatanka running side ramp as fucking shows pyros going off.
Yeah.
Or someone's pyro.
Yeah.
Tatanka's fucking slides
Oh,
right in.
fuck.
Goes right to hard cam. No sells everything. Then we get to the back. Thanks, guys. No sells everything. Yeah. What a brother.
Like one of those army movies when there's bombs blowing up.
Bro, I just look
Boom,
side ramping.
boom.
And it's like a fucking. It's
Yeah.
so long.
Yeah.
Dude, running, bro, and then just pyros going off. It's like Forrest Gump running through the jungle, you know?
Yeah.
And,
Tatanka, it's not Mania 9, bro. You don't have an entrance.
But to his credit, like, it was kind of odd for him just to be.
Well, yeah, of course.
You know what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
But
There's just no
that was cool.
communication.
That was cool they let him do it, though,
Yeah,
I guess, you know?
yeah.
So.
What's funny is because of that entrance, when you watch it on tape, he's just in the ring all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And, oh, it's Tatanka.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is really, really random, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think when you're putting together
Yeah.
a WrestleMania card, they're not, like, sitting around thinking about Tatanka's entrance.
No.
There's,
no.
you know, like,
Yeah.
they're trying to figure out some other stuff.
Yeah. You guys had I think it was main event, but you guys had a TV match with the Revival.
Yeah,
It would have been cool if you guys could have like worked.
Yeah,
And
they put us over for that match, man. They
Yeah.
said they really enjoyed working with us. I was in
Yeah.
Montreal. I remember driving
Yeah.
up. I remember driving up there and doing that shot.
Yeah.
And I told Breeze, man, whenever he wants to start wrestling again, those two and the Briscoes.
Yeah.
I'd like to work with.
Yeah.
Two of the best, man. The
Mhm.
the Revival guys are fucking awesome and old school gritty. Their shit
Mm-hmm.
looks real.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see through it, which I like.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And then also just a good contrast between you two.
Yeah.
And you kind of bring the different stuff out of each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, we had a hell of a good match, man. We went like 15 with them on main event. We had a couple segs and
Yeah.
good guys,
Yeah.
good boys.
Eventually, that leads into. Oh, you got the labrum. You're out for a little while with the labrum.
Yeah, about a year. Yeah.
But that sends you right back to NXT, and you come back to a completely different NXT.
Yeah.
Um,
So I got cleared
Yeah.
and went down to talk to Hunter and got clean sober when
Yeah.
I was out and yeah, pretty major surgery.
Yeah.
Got pretty bad off. Got into some partying and stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of downtime.
Yep.
And got cleaned up and I went down, talked to Hunter, and said, hey, because Breeze was in NXT, I said, would you mind if I came down and worked with Breeze? And he went out of his way. And the thing about Hunter, man, I mean, everything he's ever said to me, he's never lied. You know, everything, he's always been up front with me, and things that maybe I didn't want to hear, he still told, you know, at least that's the one thing I respect about someone is if you got a problem with me or you got a critique, just fucking tell me, you know. You don't have to go like, you know what I'm saying, just we can just talk about it, you know. But Hunter's always been upfront with me and been honest, and unlike a lot of other people in this business, but he's always been good to me, man. I don't know what he's been like with you, but he went out of his way to help me out and gave me a second shot down there where I probably could have got released. So I got nothing bad to say about Hunter or Vince or Steph or, you know. So.
You got some TV matches with the Forgotten Sons.
So we'll go back to talking about body of work. So we just got done being fucking haha guys for a while. Mm-hmm. And I'm not the best worker in the world, but you know, this was an opportunity for us to go down there and work with the best, Roddy and, you know, Adam Coles and the best of the best. Those are the best guys in the world. And I think that really elevated our game and letting people know that we could go a little bit, you know. And I take pride in a lot of those matches we had down there. Yeah. Because we did 3-minute, 4-minute haha TV matches for 2 years. Yeah. So now you got to go 10, 15 with those fucking guys that can go. So we had to bring our game up from doing comedy to remembering a bunch of false finishes and shit. So I was really, really happy and glad that I got to do that run, man. Yeah. Because if I ended my career on a surgery and doing just some haha, that would have sucked. Not career, but that would have been right. You know what I'm saying?
Don't lose sight though that you had 6-7 years of main roster experience that you were bringing into these matches with these guys. Yeah. So I'm sure, you know, you're putting stuff together, but you both have different things to bring to the table, and you can tell them to look at things a little bit different. They can also do the same for you.
I think TV too is a big thing. Is a lot of guys maybe have trouble hitting their times. So
well, when it comes from the top on down.
Yeah. I think I know how much TV time costs, and if you go 2 minutes over and take away from a moneymaker's segment, whether it's Punk or Cena,
or you collapse someone's entire segment.
That's big money, and you're gonna take a lot of heat for that. Yeah. So like that's the big thing I noticed is NXT is some guys that came maybe from the independents or whatever. Or even just newer guys that were kind of green, hitting your times and kind of structuring a match. Breeze is so fucking good at this. Of calling a sequence, a break spot, and timing it in his brain. And Breeze has got such a good mind for this business. And
TJ was very good at that as well.
TJ, those Canadian guys, man, I don't know. But Breeze helped me out a lot, you know, in terms of structuring stuff and hitting our times, which we took pride in, was hitting our times, because at the end of the day, Breeze and I knew we were kind of visiting there. We knew we weren't going to be there forever. Yeah. So we took pride in kind of putting those guys over or going in and working with them, hitting our times, being professionals. And we knew we weren't going to be there forever. Yeah. I mean, it was what it was. Yeah. You got to know your job sometimes, you know, and that was our job. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. I believe this was. I remember seeing it on TV. Was it a dive you caught? What was it with the elbow?
We did a slingshot.
Yeah.
Where I kicked him and the kid went back down, one of the Bollywood boys.
Yeah.
They were so far out.
Oh, that's what
they
it was.
They were like way far out.
You jumped. Yeah.
So I elbowed him, but he was so far out that I put my hand down. And it tore my tore my UCL. Oof. Which I never got the surgery, and which I wish I did.
Yeah.
But I rehabbed it and got it back to 75%. Same with my meniscus.
Yeah.
We're about to start a program with the German kids down there.
Imperium.
We went over and then got fired like that Friday. And I'm like, I'm gonna hold off and get my meniscus surgery because I don't want to prevent us from working our program.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Yeah.
Fuck! I should have got the surgery.
Damn.
I don't know if I could. I wonder if they probably wouldn't still pay for it.
Yeah.
But,
I think your
Palm
warranty. Your
what if I just
warranty
went
is
in and tried to pay with my Palmco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just go to the PC and go to the training room.
Yeah.
You got to work with a bunch with Era. You work with Danny and Oni.
Yeah, two of my favorites, man.
Yeah. Oni, a New England guy.
I got Oni signed in WWE.
Yeah?
Did I tell you that?
No.
Yeah. Joey Mercury was looking for some guys in like 2014, 15 because they were going to start that lightweight show back then.
Yeah.
And Joey and I were close at the time, and he asked me if I knew anybody, and I said, Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
I asked Eddie, but he was I think in Japan. Cool.
Yeah.
He was
Japan Impact is coming up.
Cool. So I thought of Biff, which I've known. So I asked Biff this story. I call him like New Year's Eve, and I was drinking whiskey, and I'm like, hey Biff, I'm like, hey, come to Boston on the 29th or whatever. We're doing TV. Merry Christmas. It's what and then he got signed.
Yeah.
So he always tells that story. I don't remember calling him, but
Yeah.
But I guess I helped him get signed. But
Yeah.
he's a good dude, man. Both those guys are good.
Yeah.
I think Danny's hurt again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof. Man, we're winding down here. You got a takeover. You work with Danny and Oni and Legato, and brother, you win your first WWE championship, man.
Yeah.
You guys win the
I didn't
NXT
get ranked in the
tag
PWI last year, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Does Hype Spots have anything to do with PWI?
I think it's Michael, right?
Who do I talk to? The fuck, guys.
Yeah. I think he is a time traveler, and he heard that comment about the High Spots boots.
Yeah, fucker.
And then he used his politicking to
I'll
go to
probably
Pro Wrestling
rank, like,
Illustrated.
I'll probably be like ranked 19th next year because I'm on the Indies now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won the straps.
Yeah, he got a little
bro.
two month reign, and we talked about this over the weekend, where it's like it's just someone's choice to give you the belts, but at the same time,
It was a thank you to
yeah,
us,
it's
I think.
when someone thinks of you in that way, and hey, we want to feature you in this way, and yeah, you guys had been working your butts off.
It meant a lot to us, just
Yeah.
because we kind of came in where we were so beaten down and we're used to just giving all the time that we kind of came in with the ha-ha philosophy, and like Hunter challenged us. He goes, listen, dude, you got to bring it with these guys.
Yeah.
And challenged us to really fucking step our shit up.
Yeah.
And we did. So that was kind of, I guess, in a way, it probably wasn't Hunter's decision to put the title on, but like in a way for him to okay it, I guess.
Yeah.
That I guess we did what he asked. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that's all I ever wanted this business, man, is the guys that I looked up to, the Jerichos, the Hunters. I don't care if you like me, Vince.
Yeah.
I just want you to respect me, man, as a man. I don't care if you like me.
Yeah.
Personally, but just respect me, and that's all I wanted out of Hunter was his respect, and maybe that's all Chris wanted out of Vince was his respect, but maybe, I think that's all we really want.
Yeah.
Is other men to respect us and not treat us like we're pieces of shit.
I also think.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I also think just being appreciated and being considered is also kind of a part of that too. It's like, hey, I appreciate what you've done for us, and then keeping you in mind.
My whole thing is I don't think there's enough money in this world for me to go out of my way to talk down to someone and treat them like shit.
Yeah.
Because of my own insecurities.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line of, when do you sell out your morals? When do you give it all away for this business?
Yeah.
I just got done meeting all these guys that I've known on the indies for years. I'm like, man, I'm glad I was nice to all you guys.
Yeah.
Because you eventually run into everybody somehow along the line. We're all connected somehow in this business, man. And it takes. I understand we're all human and we all go through different phases, especially if you're drinking or drugging and you're a different person then. And you can't hang your hat on, well, I'm sober now and I'm a different person. It doesn't count what I did before.
Yeah,
I don't believe
do
that
over.
You can't do that, man.
Yeah.
I met a lot of Christians, and I'm a Christian guy now, but I don't play that card where it didn't count because I was a different guy.
Yeah.
No, you got to take accountability for that, and everything that I've said on this about the things that I fucked up on is the truth, man. I take accountability for my partying, and I can't change it, but I'm happier now, sober, who I am, with the girl I am, and I'm happier now doing these indie shows and just being sober and talking shop with you and than I was partying and doing WrestleMania with Jericho. And that's how sad how bad I was in terms of where I let the business fuck my head up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I got maybe too big for my britches or believed my own shit, which you can do. And, it's like, how complicated do you want your life? How much money do you want,
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just talking shit, but
but it may not even be a situation where you would have been rude to one person. It could be you had a match with someone, you were a dick to him, and now that guy's got a training school and he's broke in 15, 20 people, and all they've ever heard is that you were a dick.
Yeah.
So it's like, your actions have consequences, so.
Yeah. It's tough too, man, because when you're on that grind and say you've been on the road for 10 years and you're tired of shit, I mean, it's hard to be in a good mood all the time, especially when you're in that environment. Yeah. It's a grind, bro. Yeah. I mean, think about like a mid-card guy who just goes to TV. I know you want to wrap this up, but like, so say Heath and I, we go to TV every week. We know what we're going to do pretty much. Yeah. But then you got Roman Reigns. Not only goes to TV, but like, we're fucking dead tired at almost 1 after TV, but Uce has got to get up and do media the next day.
Good Morning America.
Like, that's his life.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker don't complain. Cena don't they get paid for it, but that's the grind, man. How many people really want that spot?
Yeah.
So, like, there's guys that bitch that they're not in that spot, but do they really want that spot? Do they want to be ironing their suit at fucking 5 a.m. after they just went to bed at 2? Yeah. To get up and put on a good face? Yeah. That's commitment. And I don't know if I'd really want to do that, honestly. Yeah. I'm cool with making a quarter of that. Like, I mean,
your own shots.
Everybody wants more and they want that guy's spot, but do you really want it? Are you really willing to do that? Honestly?
Yeah.
I don't know if I am. I'm cool with being like a mid-card guy, I don't know if, obviously I want to be champion, but like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know if I'm
No, of course.
Myself,
it's
how much of your life do you want to give to one company,
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you want to do that, you think, or?
It would have to be the right situation.
Yeah.
It'd have to be...
I think now where I'm clear-headed, like, I'm older now, maybe I would, but back then, man, I was more concerned about chasing girls and,
Whiskey.
Oh, whiskey. And, I fucking... My thing is, this is how I looked at it. Seth Rollins lived above me in Tampa.
Yep.
Okay. Seth and I are two similar-looking guys. Maybe he's better at a few things than me. Maybe I'm better at him at a few things.
Yeah.
Many mornings, I'd be coming home from the casino at 10 a.m. and I'd see Seth getting up, going to do CrossFit.
Yeah.
So the only way you're ever going to become successful is to just live something all the fucking time and have to engulf you. And maybe I didn't do that with this business. Maybe I was more concerned of living the lifestyle a little bit more. Because when I thought of wrestling, I thought of fucking the road.
Yeah.
Maybe I like the carnival life a little bit more than I did dedicating my life physically to it. I don't know. Maybe I was born a little too late. I don't know.
But the business is different things to different people.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But I always looked at Seth and I'm like, man, like, I wish I was... I honestly did, like... I wish I could stop partying so much and be... Because, like, where would my career be if I, but, you can't...
Yeah.
You can't.
And different people are fulfilled in different ways, so...
But, I mean, I know a lot of monetary rich people that are very poor spiritually.
Yeah.
You know, like maybe if I stayed on the road and made a few million dollars more and had no social life and had no home life,
Yeah.
would I really be happier? Because I'm happier than I've
Yeah,
ever
I don't know,
been
man. You
right
seem
now.
pretty happy. We
I
were
am.
grabbing Japanese the other day.
Dude, I'm just happy
Yeah.
being around you guys and shooting the shit, man. And
Yeah.
life is good, you know.
Yeah.
I'm happier now than I was going over on Jericho, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe that's something to be said.
There's also a big weight lifted. There's a freedom that goes along with it, and the expectations are different. The the stress is different.
Maybe some people just don't like to have that pressure, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, man, tell me, what's next for you?
I'm going to a pretty cool company coming up in December,
Yeah.
and a buddy of mine. I'm looking forward to that. I was supposed to go to GCW a couple weeks ago. I hurt my knee the night before. I should get it scoped, like I was talking about my knee.
Yeah.
It's been bothering me, so I'm gonna try to finish my dates out and maybe get it scoped in January and take 6 weeks off. But I'd like to go to GCW. I really like their.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I like their product. It reminds me of ECW, which I was a huge mark for. I like to work with the Briscoes.
They got a show at Hammerstein coming up.
Yeah.
You can go and
Full circle.
see if they got any fans up there
Maybe I can
smoking crack.
get a dark match there.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I tried to get on that show, but I don't know if I
Yeah.
should. If I'll get surgery before then. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Breeze is kind of dealing with a little bit of an injury, so hopefully we'll be tagging soon. But it's a jungle out there, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a jungle.
It's crazy.
Man, I always tell the guys, like, I hate being away from home, but I just love being on the road.
Yeah.
Isn't that a weird quagmire, you know?
So I told you got to get a motorhome, bro. You got to get a Winnebago.
Like, I miss being home, but and I've got my rental company back home, so maybe that's why the business isn't so life or death for me, and it's lighter.
Yeah.
Because I've invested my money and I've set myself up. So like, I'm like, it takes the stress off a lot and the pressure off. If you can do it, just it's more fun for me than life or death. So out of all the dumb shit I've ever done, man, it's just investing was the smart thing. Like that's the one thing I'm glad I did.
Yeah.
And fuck, I've done a lot of dumb shit.
Yeah. Calling that guy cowboy.
Big Mike. Mike, if you're watching this, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Hey.
No, I'm just kidding, Mike.
I hope you got a new dog.
I hope you got a new dog.
I
hope you're still doing concrete because I need a slab poured hopefully next spring, 120.
Yeah.
By 40.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that could be serendipitous. You get this guy some contractor work.
Yeah. So he'd be like, man, I think I met you one time in Sioux City back in 16.
Yeah.
I was at the bar. I was in a real bad place in my life because my dog Amber just died. I'm like, fuck, Mike. It's okay, man. It's not your fault. And I'll hug him like Robin Williams from fucking Good Will Hunting.
Dude, to take this home, man, could we get some Dr. Tom gesticulation? Give me a little Dr. Tom.
I get it, okay? I get it, man. You can't just go around and punch everyone, you know? It's goddamn funny. You knock Novak out. I get it. You always say I get it.
I get it, man.
No, I mean I tell everybody I owe so much to Dr. Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of guys that have made a lot of money in this business owe a lot to that guy.
Have you been to his school?
I haven't. I'm actually doing Knoxville. Is he in Knoxville?
I think so.
I'm in Knoxville Sunday.
Gotta hit him up, man.
Fuck, I do gotta hit him up. I'm gonna see what time I
can
land.
Hang out with Glenn too.
Big Glenn, man.
Yeah.
Glenn.
Yeah.
Dr. Tom's a beautiful human being, man.
Yes.
And I can't thank him enough for how much he's done for me and a lot of my friends, close friends. And you don't need to be, he doesn't need to be in the WWE to be successful. Mm-hmm. He's still
his imprint on the business.
He's still, he's still giving back, and that's. I talked to my buddy Chi-Chi, and I'm like, bro, and he was talking about, how you get to that point where you kind of become cynical towards the business because you didn't get what you wanted out of it.
Yeah.
I go, bro, at this stage, man, it's not necessarily just about us.
Yeah.
It's about helping these kids over here
Yep.
and passing on whatever bullshit that I think I know maybe to them. If I could help them out and just hand it off.
Yeah.
Because we all get to borrow this business for a little while, man.
Yeah.
We just get to take a little piece of it.
Yeah.
And you got to give it back eventually.
Yeah.
Like,
And leave it better than you found it.
you know what I'm saying? Like people, it's like people think they're fucking bigger than it. It's just gonna keep rolling, man. It's gonna keep evolving, and you gotta know when it's time just to kind of hand it off and help the next generation out. And I think that's where I'm kind of at. You know, I got a couple of years left in the ring, but you got to grow old graciously, man, in life and in wrestling.
Yeah.
And it's sad to see some people that can't do that.
Yeah.
You know,
When they're not booked.
because I'm not booked. I say that, bro, but I'll probably still be fucking taking bookings when I'm 75. Like, just fucking beer gut, mullet.
See them
Still
hip gyrations. Yeah.
Just like, you woman. Oh, I have a southern accent for some reason. That's what you girls paid for.
Oh man.
I knew your mama. You know.
I appreciate you, man. This has
bro.
been so fun.
Yeah.
I'm very
We'll have
happy
to do a
that-
volume 2 where we get some
Get some good brothers.
some dirty.
Yeah.
Get it. Oh, Gallows.
We probably, if the payday's right, brother.
Gallows. We'll fucking PayPal you half now and half later.
Yeah. I can't do a turnaround that quick.
Listen, Gallows, we need you to do the Charlotte turnaround. We'll fly you business.
Yeah.
No.
Western Union.
Comfort, Delta
Yeah.
Comfort.
Yeah. Man, I think I've always been so fascinated by your career. And
Really?
of course.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I mean, every time we were on a show, I'd always be like, hey, man, when's the last time you talked to Dr. Heresy?
Yeah,
or
I think it's just
whatever.
because I started
Started so young.
so young.
You
And
came up in such an area, and then...
I started in the 90s,
You saw it all? You
Yeah.
saw it all? You were watching Super 8 tapes and going to
still have the Super
ECW?
8?
Yeah, they do.
How do I get booked on that?
Man, maybe just tweet them.
You
I'm sure
think
they
book me?
I'm sure. Yeah. Hey, man, put you in there.
Kettner. Is Jim
Hey,
still around?
Devin Storm is still wrestling. Crowbar, so...
Dude, I was on a show with him a couple weeks ago.
There you go. He's a Super 8 legend. Get the Cheetah Master.
I like Devin Storm, man. I like all those guys. Mr.
Yeah.
Ooh La La.
Yeah. He's still working, too.
God bless
There you
him.
go. So I hope people watching this that are still... Maybe they're watching this in its third installment. They just have a new appreciation for you and what you've done in wrestling, and just get to know a little bit more about you, because you were so many years just talking like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you're a smart, interesting, charismatic dude, a locker room favorite. I learned so much, man. I appreciate you opening yourself up and sharing all this with us.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever's next for you.
Send me your deposits at Dirty Day. That's what I told Breeze. I'm taking all these deposits for his bookings like 3 months ago. I'm like, fuck, I gotta do all these bookings now.
Yeah. How do you figure out which is which, man?
Shit. I'm a wrestler, not a businessman.
Man, thank you guys for watching.
Guys.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Book me.
Appreciate you, bud.
I need you. I
Thank
need your
you.
money. PayPal, Venmo.
Here we
Book
go.
me, baby.
Don't give up. Don't give up. Fight forever. Don't give up. Fight forever. Don't give up. Fight forever. Fight forever and ever and ever and ever.